hear me? Hold on, let me turn this down. Really gonna turn this up. Okay, check 1 2. Bring this down a little bit. Oh crap! I just realized I don't have it on ultra. Oh gosh. I usually have it on ultra low latency, but that is not the case right now. I have it on normal latency, so you guys answering me back is going to take a minute. Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. What's up? That's a little better. I also don't have my light on. There we go. Got to make sure the Spurs logo is shining. How everybody doing? Also, Clan, who you got in the finals? It's like one of those weird things. Like you ask me who I want to win, because who I want to win is the Dallas Mavericks. But there's no reason that Boston Celtics shouldn't take this series. There's like no reason they shouldn't take this series. But that's who I'm going for. I'm going for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm hoping that Luka can win his championship. That would be really nice. That would be really cool. But at the same time, obviously Derrick White winning is cool too, but he won't get as much credit as if Luka won. Do you really think Dejounte coming back to the Spurs will be a bad decision? It would be a monumentally bad decision. I don't think our front office really likes Dejounte, first and foremost. After everything that happened, there was a lot of shots that DJ was taking before he even left the Spurs. We went over it. Obviously, most people were like, oh, you're overreacting. But yeah, he was taking shots at the front office before he even left. But even on a cultural level, where he didn't really hang out with the team that often, like when the team was out doing things, he wasn't there, right? He was constantly going back home, which is fine. You know, if you treat it like a job, it is what it is, whatever. But even if we get out of like the cultural level, I think just as like on the court, I don't think he fits with this team. I just don't. He's not as good of a passer as a lot of Spurs fans said. The reason being is because, you know, a lot of people saw the assist numbers and just automatically assumed like, oh man, he's like killing it. But no, that was not the case. That was not the case at all. It was a lot of dump offs, and it's in the analytics too. It was a lot of just dump offs to Jakob Poeltl. And if you want him for this mere fact of just giving Wemby the ball on pick and rolls and just dump it to him, there's a lot of players you can grab to do that, right? I don't think you have to get Dejounte Murray to do that. So, no, I wouldn't. Also, his defense, because some people will say, well, we need, you know, a defensive wing. His defense fell off expeditiously. I almost said expeditiously. Exponential? I can't say the word. You guys know the word. It's ridiculous how much of a drop-off it was. Everyone who questions whether it's a bad decision should rewatch the Steven Jackson interview. Yeah, that too, you know? That's the cultural element of the whole thing. He, like, literally goes on... Like, I don't... I know it seems like, oh, no, we forgive him now. Like, yes, come on, man. Literally went on... It wasn't just a podcast, right? It wasn't just any old podcast. It is a infamous anti-Spurs podcast. Exponentially. God dang it, dude. See, this is why I usually have the latency much better, because that took like 5 minutes for you guys to answer back. I'm so sorry with my latency. Yeah, I usually have an ultra low latency. I don't know if I can change. Hold on, let me Google this. Can you change chat latency while streaming YouTube? Nope, you can't. I would have to literally bring up a whole new stream, which I'm not doing that. I'll tell you what, man. AI sucks in a lot of different ways, but AI is great when it comes to Google searches. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no, literally goes on an anti-Spurs podcast. Heck no. You don't need that. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that in your life. If that's how he really feels, you don't need that. It's harsh to say, but the interview is very narcissistic. Oh, it was extraordinarily narcissistic. You know? I mean, went on there and said that, you know, he didn't become the guy, but Derrick White did because he was sucking up to Pop. It was like, come on, man. And then saying that he should have been starting a long time ago, and he literally became a starter. Like, he was one of the youngest San Antonio Spurs starters ever. Like, it was insane how quick Popovich made him a starter. Even at that time, I remember going, you know, obviously I have no, you know, you guys probably, you can say I'm lying, but I'm telling the truth. I remember, I have no proof of this. That's what I was going to say. I remember going live on Instagram, right? This is before we were jumping on YouTube. I don't even know if we, yeah, I had already made a YouTube channel at that point, because I made the YouTube channel after, wait, did I have? No, I didn't have, I might have had a YouTube channel up, but I never used it. Okay. Yeah, this is before that. I remember when Dejounte Murray became starter and the Spurs were losing a game pretty badly. Can't remember who it was. And Derrick White came in. It was literally like 5 minutes that he played, like 3 to 5 minutes. And I instantly said, I went live. I was like, I might sound crazy, but I think Derrick White is a better point guard. Like, I wasn't saying like long term will he be a better player or anything. I was just saying I think he's a better point guard. Like, because one thing I noticed about Derrick White was as soon as he came in, he wasn't like, because a lot of guys who don't get playing time, they come in and they're like, look at me, coach. Like, look what I can do, right? He wasn't like that. He was still allowing the game to come to him. It wasn't like he came in and he scored like 20 points in a row and I got excited. No, I don't even think he might have had like 1 assist and like 2 points or something. But it was like, God, the way that he's playing defensively, the way he's showing such high basketball IQ, the way that he's just kind of blending into the offense, not allowing his own, you know, insecurities to play a part or trying to prove something to somebody. I was like, this guy has some really good poise to him. But you know, at that time, most people were like, no, dude, that doesn't make any sense, which is fine. Man, I miss Derrick White. I miss him too, but I'm happy he's gone. I'm happy he's with the Celtics. I mean, he's literally in finals right now. Like, I wouldn't want him to be. I'd rather him be in the finals with them than be on this team with us trying to build. Still have my white bobblehead. That's what's up. I never had a chance to get it. Thoughts on Malik Monk? I don't really have any thoughts on Malik. Castle or Garland, the best move so far? Yeah. All right. So one thing that I've noticed is when we go live, the chat is completely like the chat is different than people that comment in the comments. It's such a weird dichotomy we have going on here where the chat is just so much different. I don't want to brag, but I feel like a lot of times the chat's a little bit more level-headed. I don't want to like just pat all you guys on the back, but you're definitely pretty level-headed. Keldon, Malachi, and 3 first swaps for Garland. Okay, do you guys want to start with that? I guess we can start with that. Okay. Sure. Chat. Chat-a-tat-tat. We'll start with that since you guys want to start with that. Yes, it is true. Anybody that's joining, it is true. The San Antonio Spurs very interested in trading for Darius Garland. Now, this is something actually that's been going on a minute now, right? I've heard it myself. I don't like to talk about it too often, but I get information sometimes, right? I get a little information. I heard it as well, like a few weeks ago. So I'm not surprised at all that this is coming out that they're interested. But I feel as if there were articles on this prior, but I don't recall. We do so many videos, it's kind of hard to even. It's It's hard to even keep up with. But yeah, so if we go here, San Antonio Spurs reportedly interested in NBA All-Star point guard, according to Sam Amico of Hoops Wire. The Spurs have interest in a recent All-Star. Darius Garland is coming off another extremely productive year with the Cleveland Cavaliers, in which he had 18 points, 2.7 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and 1.3 steals per contest, while shooting 44.6% from the field, 37.1% from the three-point range in the course of 57 games. This offseason, the Cavs will have a lot of questions to answer about the future of the roster. We don't care about the Cavs. We don't care what they want. We just know what we want. The Spurs will be extremely intriguing landing spot for Garland. They are in need for a point guard that can help facilitate the ball to rising superstar Victor Wembanyama. All right, so there's going to be a lot of rumors running around everywhere just because we're the Spurs, right? You have Victor Wembanyama, you have all this capital, you have all these draft picks. You're going to be in the mix of all of this, right? No matter who it is, you're going to be in the mix of it. But right now, we've talked about this so many times, the Spurs need three things, in my opinion, okay? Lori marketing stuff, I don't really care about that. I think they need three things. The number one thing that they need, and I think this is actually the most pressing issue, is a defensive wing, okay? Desperately. This whole season, there were so many games in which we were close and we were playing hard and we started coming together. But then, lo and behold, defense was terrible. The backcourt just terrible, and guards were able to do whatever they wanted, and we only have one Jeremy Sohan. It was awful. So that's number one that they need, and you can get that in this draft. That's why I'm excited about this draft. It's not a great draft, but I'm excited about that nonetheless. But number two, obviously, you need a point guard. That's something that the Spurs are going to need. I thought that maybe they would wait till 2025, but it seems like they are in the mix of that right now. And thirdly, I think that the Spurs need a backup defender behind Wemby. Like, we need some type of backup big man. With all that being said, I saw someone in the chat mention, what would you give up? Someone mentioned Keldon, Malachi, and 3 firsts. Most definitely. I've said this many a times, but hold on. We'll do upcoming draft picks. This is what I'll be willing to give up. I think a lot of people underrate Darius Garland because of the playoffs, but guys, he is a great talent. And under Popovich, I mean, I know that that's a cliche at this point, but under Popovich, we can see what he can cook up. But as far as 3 firsts, what I'll be willing to do is, and I'm gonna tell you my mindset on this, okay? So I am willing to, obviously I'm not the GM, but we're just talking hypotheticals. Keldon and Malachi, those are gimmies. I think that that's more than worth it. Keldon, you guys know how I feel about Keldon at this point, and it seems like he's going to be out the door more than likely. Defensively, he's awful, and I think that we can upgrade at that position. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a good leader. I like his camaraderie with the team. He is a Spur cultural wise, but just on the court, it's not cutting it. So I would cut ties there. I do think Malachi has a lot of promise, and hopefully the Cleveland Cavaliers believe that as well. The reason why I would include Cavaliers is because maybe it'll be a little enticing for them, because we all know that the Cavaliers actually wanted Malachi in the draft. They end up getting Abaji, in which they traded, but they did want Malachi. You know, that they just did it because they had to, basically, and he just fell until he came to the Spurs. Spurs weren't even expecting to get him. So there's that. So I'm cool with those two going. This is all for Darius Garland. Now, as far as draft picks, you said 3. I actually completely agree with you. I would honestly, if the Spurs can manage to do this, so there's a few options I can think of. So 3, I think is inevitable. I'm cool with 3. Number 4, I'll be willing to give that up. Now I'll tell you that in a minute. Why that in a minute. 8, I'm willing to give that up. I'm willing to give up both 4th and 8th, and I will be willing to give up the Chicago's first next year. Now, Chicago's I don't think is that great. I think it's protected 1 through 10. and they're going to be a pretty mid team. And yeah, so whatever, I don't know. But it will be pretty enticing for another team because it's more than likely going to convey in a draft that's really, really good. I don't want to give them Atlanta's. I'm not 100% confident where the Spurs will be this season. So I don't really want to give them ours either. Like, I want to still be able to control our future. So keep Atlanta's, keep our own, give them Chicago's, and these two. And the reason why I'm comfortable with giving them these two for 2024 is actually because it's been rumored that, and you guys know I'm a big Holland fan. It's been rumored that Holland is going to fall. And if the Spurs can manage to maybe package their second rounds, and we have so many future second round picks, and move up in this draft that's not that great, I'll be with it if you can move up and grab him. So then you would get your defensive wing and you would get your point guard. And then 2025, oh my God, the Spurs are going to become nasty. Now, if you don't do that, okay, let's say we don't give them the 4th and the 8th. If we don't want to risk that, we want to keep at least our 8th. I would give them 4th. I would give them Chicago's for next year. And this is not going to work, okay? This is not going to work. This is where I'm being stingy. I would try to give them that Hornets, but that's not going to work. They're not dumb. They're not dumb. The Hornets is not going to convey. That's not going to work. So if I have to give them something else up, I don't know what I would do. Because 2026, we still have Atlanta's. We still have our own. That's a tough one. But one thing I don't want to hear, and I've been seeing this way too often, is people say, I wouldn't want to give anything. I hate that. When you say, okay, what would you give up for Garland? They're like, I wouldn't give up anything. What? You wouldn't give up anything? That's terrible. Notice we started winning games when Keldon and Sohan were out for the season. Calm down. Let's calm down. But yeah, so you guys get it. That's what I'm willing to give up. I really do believe in Darius Garland. He's a great talent. He's exactly what the Spurs need. He'd be a massive upgrade. I saw like a few comments mentioning Trey Jones. They're like, well, we got Trey Jones. Like, this would be a massive upgrade. Massive upgrade. And for less. Because it seems like right now, Trey Young would take a lot, would cost a lot. And, you know, contextually, I would rather have Darius Garland than Trey Young. Didn't even know Garland was a possibility. Is Markkanen and Garland a possibility? I don't think so. I don't think Markkanen is a possibility. It could happen. You can match salaries. Getting both, I don't know how you would do that. Are people talking about Popovich? I see people saying no Pop slander allowed. But I don't see anybody actually talking bad about Pop. It's not a good draft for superstar talent, but it's definitely a good draft for a player like Derrick Jones Jr., Jay McDaniels type player. Yeah, a lot of role players, or I call them icing on the cake players, right? But our cake ain't even cooked yet, so we can't. That's why I'm just not worried about it that much. If they're willing to give I'm sorry, I love Dilly. It will be cool if the Spurs get Dilly. We'll see what happens. But Dilly, I don't expect him to be as good as Darius Garland. Like, I don't think his ceiling would be Darius Garland. I could be wrong. I don't think so, though. Garland is better in all facets of the game. Obviously being older, but, you know, that plays a part. But he is just better in all assets. Defensively, passing ability, he's just better. He's just a better player. So, and Devin went to the bench and we started winning games. Okay, I have no idea what's going on. Y'all ain't hearing me. But yeah, y'all don't hear me. Y'all just want to dance, like Outcast said. But yeah, good news. I think this is good news. You know, I guess depending on who you're talking to, they'll say something else. But I truly do believe that this is good news for the San Antonio Spurs, nonetheless. That or for Spurs fans, that is, that the Spurs are interested. You know, we got it set in stone. Got it set in stone. But good stuff. Good stuff. Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to wait till 2025. As long as it's not our own, I'm willing to trade first round pick for a better player. Oh, well, it would be our own. The 4th pick would be our own. I'm just saying, man. If it means getting Darius Garland, that 4th and 8th can go bye-bye, and we can try our best to trade up in this draft so we can get Holland. I think that will be just a perfect draft. I mean, you don't get better than that. I love Buzelis, though. I think Buzelis might be available at 4. So the Spurs can manage to keep their 4. That would be cool if they wanted to do that. You want Buzelis instead, that's fine. He's not as good of a defender as Holland, but he is a phenomenal player. How does Vassell fit with Garland? I mean, Garland is just a great point guard. Vassell, one thing that's really cool about Devin Vassell is he plays off ball very well as well. Like, he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. He could very well be a player where if you absolutely need a shot, you can give it to Vassell. But he is not someone that has to have the ball in his hands. He showed that the years with playing with Dejounte Murray. He played more of a catch and shoot role, and his shot seems to only have gotten better. So yeah, he would fit. He's a perfect type of player because Devin Vassell, I don't see a team in the NBA where he doesn't fit with, you know? Can Garland defend, or is he also a cone on defense? He's a pretty decent defender. He's not like locked down or anything, but he's pretty, for all things considered, size wise, positioning, he's fine. He averages like 1.6 steals. Is that right? I think they posted it here. What was it? 1.3. He has good hands, nonetheless. That's all you got to worry about. What's up, clan? How you been? I've been pretty good, Jeremy Sohan. Y'all watching the work Sohan's putting in on his shot and finishing? Y'all gonna regret trash talking him. It's crazy how much hate Sohan gets. I understand Sohan getting hate from other people because, yeah, he's very hateable if you aren't a Spurs fan. But it's like, he's on our side. All this stuff come like saying that he's jealous and all that. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Hold on, I need to move this. JSY, thank you. All right, next order of business. Or should I wait on that? We'll do this one. This is cool. Whatever. All right, chat. Next order of business. We have Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball has some things to say about Wembanyama, and it ain't good. It ain't good. I'm just kidding. I think it is good.
You know me. I've been.
Oh, wait. All right, see what he has to say. That's right. There's no closed captions for freaking Twitter. Whatever. Is this on? Okay.
Wemby's probably the best defensive player. He might be the best defensive player we've ever seen.
Wemby?
Yeah. He's going to average, like you said, 5 to 6.
What is he wearing? I don't care, guys. I don't care. You guys can say this is swaggy. This is not swaggy. This is actually kind of awful. What is this? What is it? You only get away with wearing something like this when you're rich and no one questions it.
He blocks 1 year. And that's going to be OD.
I'm a big Wemby fan, man.
He has a chance to be the best player ever to touch it. I'll say that right now. And I'll stand on 10.
How tall Wemby, bro? 7'4"?
7'4" at least.
With a wiggle, though.
Handle. Jimmy.
With a wiggle.
He got everything, man.
That's defense.
Fade.
Yeah.
And he a dog, though.
This means a lot coming from Lonzo, who is a pretty fine defender.
To be honest, that's when I said, all right, because I ain't even watching when you was watching him, like when he was over there in France.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't really.
You know me, I've been hyping about Wemby for years.
To me about
I'm like, yo, this motherfucker good.
He was like
bro,
14, low key.
Oh, my goodness. I've been talking for years.
Like, he going to come over here and go crazy. I never tapped in. But when he played Giannis, I watched that game from start to finish. I said, hey, he get his credit for me. Wemby's.
It hasn't been one. We haven't had one player say something negative about Wemby, have we? Like, even the most contrarians of contrarians have not came out to like look stupid. They're like, I'm not going to look stupid. Everyone respects him. I said this before, and the comments didn't understand. They were like, "Clan, what are you talking about? Like, there's going to be competition." This worries me just a little bit because so many players are in awe about Wemby, And when I said that I don't know if he's going to have real competition, people started bringing up like, well, Giannis and Jokic. And it's like, I said these players, but they're in different timelines, right? Like, I'm talking about like young players. He just turned 20. I'm talking about young players coming up, going against Wemby. I would like some type of rivalry, but it's been nothing but people just praising them all the time. I mean, you can praise them, you show respect, but I want some nasty, you know? Unfortunately, we haven't really got to that point where we can really test it, you know, and see who can, you know, go toe to toe. I mean, everybody wanted to be Chet Holmgren, but the way Wemby went at Chet, it won't even be a competition. Like he took that personal. He went Michael Jordan on him. I don't know, man. I really hope we get some good rivalries, but we might end up just destroying the entire league. Like, really. I think Wemby might just end up destroying the entire league. You sound like a denial hater if you say Wemby isn't good because that's how good he is. You know, you think that, right? Maybe it's one of those things where, you know, you die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain type thing. Because you guys know I'm a huge Eminem fan. And there are still people out there that will say Eminem is trash or like he's garbage. And then their reasoning is, I don't play Eminem in my car. Who cares if you don't play Eminem in your car? Like, it's the same thing, right? It's like, you shouldn't be able to deny how talented he is. You shouldn't be able to deny that he's one of the greatest ever. Not just accolade wise. I mean, good God, just listen to one of his freestyles. Go listen to Westwood freestyle. Like, my God. But people still manage to say he's not that good or whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, as great as Wemby is, maybe it's one of those things where as time goes on, they'll start to discredit him a little bit. We'll see. Did Eminem the GOAT? Yeah, he is. Did Eminem? See what I'm saying? Well, I don't know what your response is. Are you saying it's crazy that people think he's trash? I don't know. Did people do this with Michael? I mean, they do that now. You know, it's been so long. Maybe back in 2000s. No. Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't mean for this to turn into an Eminem thing. All right. But he's corny now. Okay. Eminem has always been like corny to an extent, right? Like, that's his whole shtick, right? It's funny. Like, he does that on purpose at times, and it's kind of funny. No, Eminem right now, technically, like, I mean, in all technicalities, okay, technically, he's the best he's ever been right now. Like by far as how he can string words together. Just as far as his cadence, just how he goes about it. He is one of the best lyricists in the game right now, today. Content wise, I would agree with you. Eminem back in the day was a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. But that was him on the come up, you know? He's rapped about his experiences for so long. He's been rich and kind of loved, honestly, in America for so long. It's kind of hard for him to come up with different stuff to really talk about. But you can't seriously go and listen to Darkness. I know that came out, when did that come out? 4 years ago? Go listen to Darkness. It's a really hard song to listen to, but that really shows modern Eminem is still phenomenal. Storytelling is still phenomenal. God, Darkness is a tough song to get through. Eminem Show and Slim Shady EP classic for sure. Man, Marshall Mathers LP is my favorite, but yeah. Hey, MMLP 2 is pretty good too. But I think he aged out the game, bro. He can rap, but I don't know, bro. That's fine. It's fine. I mean, I love like Houdini, but I also will sit back and say, hey, this ain't Slim Shady. like it seems like a Slim Shady imitation. This is not Slim Shady. I know I like that song a lot, by the way. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10, right? Just standard, right? Standard that's out there. I would give him that. But yeah, Eminem is the biggest rapper ever when you talk internationally. Marshall Mathers LP 1 and Eminem Show are straight up 10 out of 10 albums. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh yeah, that Kendrick and Eminem song. Yeah, what is it? Love. What's it called, guys? It's not Love Bound. That's another song. Love Game. Love Game. Oh my goodness, Love Game is so good. My boy Biggie was a lyricist. Obviously. If Wemby turns into the Eminem of basketball, he will turn into Tim Duncan. He's basically would be so good at the craft that is boring to others because he's so good at the fundamentals. Jay, that was actually very enlightening. That is true. Wemby is the Eminem of basketball. Should we name it this? Nah. We need to let people know that it's Lonzo talking about. I was thinking about whenever we caption this video, what should we make it? Yeah, man. Good stuff. You want to talk about Dark? Oh man, that song. Crap, what's it called? Dance with the Devil. That's the darkest rap song I've ever listened to. That one's hard to listen to. No, Wemby couldn't be boring. That's a good point too. So I guess Wemby can't be the Eminem. Eminem isn't boring though. All right, enough of that. But cool. Well, let me ask you this, Kova, before we get into the next segment. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you listened to Eminem? Like seriously, like I don't mean Houdini. I mean like before that. Like the last time you bumped an Eminem album. That's what I mean. What do you think about Reed Sheppard? Oh, we're actually going to talk about Reed Sheppard. I'm going to have Swish Hill on. We're going to talk about Reed Sheppard. We're going to talk about 3 players, actually. Slim Shady is greater than Eminem. Yeah, dude, Houdini was not Slim Shady. It was dope. It was a nostalgic hit for sure, but that was not Slim Shady. I was expecting something crazy. The craziest thing we got was the Megan Thee Stallion bar, but it's like, that's just in any Eminem song. Eminem has said way crazier on his last album, Music to Be Murdered By. I feel like a lot of casuals came out the woodworks to listen to Houdini. I've listened to every album. Not you. I'm talking about Kova. Because Kova is the one that's like, he's not that great, you know. Now, to say Eminem is corny, I won't, like, disagree with you. I mean, he can come across kind of corny at times. But, I mean, he's literally, like dad joke material. He's just so much older now. I can't expect him to be, like, I don't know. It's not like he was always suave, you know. Aside from the classics was Kamikaze. Okay, cool. Okay, that's perfect. Go listen to Music to Be Murdered By now, okay? Go listen to Music to Be Murdered By. Kamikaze was cool, but that was just him dissing everybody. Listen to Music to Be Murdered By. It's some really good songs in there. Seriously. I love 2000s Eminem. Slim Shady LP is my ish. Oh yeah, 2000s Eminem is peak, okay? No one's disputing that. All I'm disputing is Eminem today is still one of the best rappers. Period. But yeah, Music to Be Murdered By, go listen to that. Not every song is a hit. Not every song is phenomenal, but there's a few. Hold on, actually. Here, I'll tell you some of my favorites. There's one, what's the song? Alfred's Theme. You probably won't like this. It's a really weird beat. It's literally Alfred Hitchcock's beat. And only Eminem will rap on this. But there's a part in it where I'm like, okay, that's a bar. I'm sorry. That was clever. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, this one, I describe it as bowling. Why? Ball hard. And he says, because the gutter's where my mind is, and when it's in the frame, better split like the 5 and the 10. Because without a second to spare, I'm striking again. And when the beat is up my alley, I go right for the pins. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's a ridiculous bar. That is so clever. I'm sorry. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Go listen to Music to Be Murdered By. It's a pretty decent album. It's an underrated album, I would say. It's very underrated. I know you've heard Godzilla. That's off of that album. There's no way you haven't heard Godzilla. You can't listen to Godzilla and say, no, you know, Eminem's not one of the best in the game. Easily. Come on. All right, enough of that. Did you say Swish Hill will be with you? Sorry, I thought I heard that. Yeah, he will be. We got one more thing to go over, and then I'm gonna grab him. Do we have one more thing to go over? Yeah, we do. We sure do. All right. Okay. All right. I noticed something, and it's been making me quite upset. And what I've noticed is Ron Holland has been getting a lot of disrespect, and I wondered why. Okay, I wonder what the heck is going on, because if you would have went to Spurs Twitter, let's just say a couple months ago, or maybe three, let's say three. I gotta say three. About 3 months ago, everybody and their mama wanted Ron Holland. Everybody, right? I got on the train eventually, you know, more research and everything. And I think he's phenomenal. He might very well be the best prospect in this draft. But I did some polls recently, and I said, who would you rather have, Ron Holland and I spelled Stephon Castle's name wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's 500. That's a pretty decent sample size on Twitter. I don't have a crazy following on Twitter, but 574 votes. Castle, 74% Castle, 26% Ron Holland. And then I said, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. You know, people feel like we need a combo guard, right? Castle could potentially be a point guard. He won't be, but, you know, we need that combo. He's a great defender. But keep in mind, people did not care about Castle a few months ago either. But then I did another one. I said, well, let me see. Surely people would take Holland over Ricochet. Same exact thing. Ricochet 72.3%, Ron Holland 27.7%. And I realized, I'm like, okay, what's the word about Holland right now? Why is so many Spurs fans down about him? Well, I saw this, and I don't know if this is a continuous thing. This was posted literally today. So I was like, is this something that people have been seeing in other forums? Is that he could very well slip out of the lottery entirely. This is crazy. I mean, this is great news for the Spurs, but I feel as if the San Antonio Spurs did select Holland, fans would lose their mind at this point because they think he's such a trash player now. It's so unfortunate, but yeah, it's everywhere. It says here, Ron Holland, the number 2 overall recruit from 2023 high school class, could slip completely out of the lottery. Holland has recently scheduled pre-draft workouts with the Heat number 15 and Lakers number 17. After an inconsistent season with the G League Ignite, Holland's potential draft range is massive. I wonder, is it the fact that this draft isn't the best, so people want to take more swings? He's a pretty sure, in my opinion, he is pretty sure as it gets, as far as a guy that goes on the team, contributes, and, you know, I mean, his defense is elite. It's a very weird thing going on right now where he could potentially drop all the way to 15 or 17. That's crazy. Well, Splain, can you give me your take on this? Because I'm open. I'm open. I know that it comes across in videos that I'm not open to hear like anybody's opinion. I mean, sometimes I just feel like people are wrong. I mean, I'll just say that, but this is one of those things where I don't quite understand it. I know he does. I know his shot isn't the best, right? But his speed, his athleticism, his defense, his basketball IQ, it's all there. I don't understand. I don't get it. He's willing to take those shots. The article points a very articulate word, inconsistency. Is that what's going on? But that's so weird because throughout the entire season, his draft stock was high. It's just now that it seems like it's dropping. You get what I'm saying? It was high the entire time. Holland at 8 is not crazy at all. I don't think that's crazy. That's what's throwing me off is that he could drop to 15 or 17. This is a great time. I'm telling you, this might be the best prospect in the draft. Completely getting kicked out of the lottery. That's good for us. It's just I would be dreading the responses to it because of this stuff that's coming out. To be respectful, I would rather have Modest than Ron Holland. Oh, don't get me wrong. Modest Buzelis is still my boy. Okay. I haven't even did my big board yet. I'm still going to do I'm going to do like a Spurs specific big board as far as like who I will want, you know, if these players are going you know, I'll do like a top 10 or something. But yeah, no. Modest Buzelis is still my boy. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Buzelis. I'm just saying that this whole Holland situation is insane. Maybe teams are maybe finding stuff out about him in development. Maybe. That's what I'm saying though, because when you guys mentioned that it's the inconsistency, he was high on lists all season long. It's literally just now. I've recently beaten Pokemon Silver. I haven't played this game in 15 years or so. Congratulations, Mr. Z. I think there was another one too. I think this was just a fan. Was this just a fan?
Finds his partner.
Oop, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, this fan posted, I got Harlan as my number 2 prospect in the draft, so hearing that he could slide out of the lottery completely is crazy. I understand the concerns with his game and adjusting to the NBA, but he is arguably best player available after the first pick. Teams shouldn't overthink it with a prospect like Holland. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I truly don't. I truly don't. And Spurs fans, I hate to bring this up, okay? Because this is cliche. Everyone's tired of saying this, but like, we had a guy that was phenomenal on defense that ended up turning into something that was a little bit more than just defense. It's not crazy. It's not like it can't happen. And he has all the tools in his toolbox to be that. It's not like he's lacking in basketball IQ. It's not like he's lacking in defense. It's not like he's lacking in his guts. He's open to take those shots. All right, he's willing to take those shots. It's just weird. It's weird. What do you think about Bleacher Report latest mock for us? All right, we'll look at that and then get out. Bleacher Report mock. I haven't seen it. And that's another thing too, man. You get these mock drafts, and then I think that's where Spurs fans' opinions switch so often. I mean, I heard how Collier was like the best prospect ever. I heard how Topic is the best prospect ever. And even at the time, I was like, I don't get it, guys. And sure enough. Okay, here we go. All right, Zachary Reese 1. Alex R 2. Reese Sheppard 3. Modest Buzelis. I love it. I love it. I'm with it. I'm with it. Dude, I would lose my mind. No, Stephon Castle's gone at 6. So no Stephon Castle. Dalton at 7. Devin Carter at 8. I wouldn't take. Should this be on a separate video? A separate. Maybe we should talk. We'll talk to Swish about this. This be a separate video. No. I need to talk to Swish about other stuff. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do Devin Carter at 8. We don't need a separate video. Look, age wise, I wouldn't do it. Is he talented? Yes. He comes across like a player. Carter at 8 is a giant reach. It's kind of crazy. He comes across as a player that you would add to a team that's already pretty established. And I don't know if the Spurs can manage to like take that risk. Like his ceiling isn't that great. Now he plays with a crazy amount of energy. Defensively, he's there. Shooting wise, he's there. I just don't know if I would take him at 8. That just seemed very high. Isn't he's project or has his? Okay, so has his his stock gotten better or whatever? Is that what's going on? Let's see. Potential draft pick. Let's see. Yeah, where is his? Oh, okay. So that's what's going on. All right. So yeah. So he has been moved up to the lottery, huh? They're expecting him to move up to the lottery. Received a lottery promise from a team. Wait, what? The 22-year-old Merge began the year viewed as a potential second-round pick. He has since improved his draft stock following a strong junior campaign and showing at the combine, and even reportedly received a lottery promise from a team. Oh. Oh. Well, okay then. So that's where that's coming from. Could it be the Heat? Are the Heat in the lottery? No, the Heat aren't in the lottery, are they? What am I talking about? I just feel like he would fit with the Heat. Where are the Heat? The Heat aren't in the lottery at all because they made the playoffs, right? Yeah, Trailblazers. Let's just keep going. Let's see. Memphis Grizzlies, Ron Holland. Well, they still have Ron Holland in the lottery. Rob Dillingham at 10. He dropped that much? Topich at 11. Salone. It could be Salone too. I think Spurs shown interest in him too. It just seems like a bit of a reach. I like Monty's IQ and I love Holland's hustle and defense. I'd be okay with either one if the Spurs decide to go that route. Yeah. They're great, man. All right, well, good stuff. And don't get Holland has great IQ too. So there's that. All right. All right. Yeah, let's try to get Swish on. Let's see how we can do this. I probably need to go to Discord. Let me see. Where's my Discord? Agree. I haven't done anything on Discord in a minute. Where is Spurs fan? Here we go. Philly's real. Let's see. I think it'll be special guest. Let's see here. I think that's right. I think I'll be able to just invite them. I can't remember if I used talk on stream or I used special guest. I can't remember which one we used last time. I guess it doesn't really matter. He'll text me, whatever. We'll see if it works. All right. Anyways. Whew. All right, we got some, let's see. So we're going to get his opinion on quite a few things, okay? It's good that you guys are here because some of the stuff we're going to talk about, I probably won't upload until the week before the draft, so that'll be a little while before it actually uploads. Oh. There's something here. Huh. That's weird. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh my God, that was loud. Hold on, let me turn it down.
Oh shit! Hold on, I'll turn the volume down.
Can you hear me?
At least it didn't sound like a. Oh, I hope it didn't sound like a demon. Is it still too loud?
No, chat, can you hear? Look, I got it on normal latency, so it's gonna take a minute before they can answer. But can you guys hear them? Fine. Say something.
Hey guys, I hope I don't sound like a demon.
Actually, I might have to turn you up just a little bit.
I mean, I can turn it up all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, there's Ashley. Hey, Swish. I'll be so pissed if Sheppard goes to the Rockets. All right, we got it. Rest in peace, eardrums. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I think we're good.
Okay, thank God. I apologize if I made anybody go deaf.
No, we're good. Yeah, I can hear. Okay, cool. All right, so let me get your opinion on it before we get into any of this stuff. Before we talk about other people, really quick, Ron Holland. What's your opinion? Okay, this is, and everybody should already know this. Okay, there might be new people. You should know this though. Swish Hill is a genius when it pertains to the draft. Okay, he watches every single. Hold on. I'm not done. Swish. He watches every. He watches every single game you can imagine. Overseas, college. It doesn't matter. He's been watching these guys since they were in middle school. Actually. Okay, you can talk now, Swish. What were you gonna say?
No.
It is true.
You can't do that to me.
It is true. But
I mean, I watched a lot of middle school as a stretch. That just sounds weird.
He a 69 god.
No, but I mean, okay, here's the thing. I feel like this draft in particular is like really conducive to people overthinking things just because of its nature. And I'll get called crazy for this. I still think that Holland is the best prospect in this draft. Maybe like a close tie up there with Sar up at the top.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of like the context revolving around his season in the G League and how that team was constructed and all that has really made a lot of people question him a little bit more than they should.
But just quick, I just want to ask you this. So we just talked about that a little bit, but like the inconsistency that a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, he's just so inconsistent. And it's like, wait, but his draft stock was so high this entire time. It seems like it's just now that it's dropped. Have I missed something?
We're getting down to the draft, so like there's going to be a lot of propaganda running around. I mean, he was, I guess, preseason considered to be right around the number one pick along with Buzelis.
Yeah,
that's the thing. These kids are young. I mean, and the nature of this draft class, it's not like last year where there's like bona fide stars up front. Like there's some really good players in this class, but nobody like Wemby or Scoot or hell, even like Brandon Miller. I don't see anybody like that this year coming out of college that just kind of is that polarizing thing. And like these guys are young, they've got flaws and all that. And especially this G League team, every single person on there was inconsistent this year. I mean, even the college guys we're looking at were inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe, and like I said, I have my flaws with evaluating people and all that. I've been wrong before and all that, but I just feel like, I don't know, for him to slip out of the lottery like they're saying, which one, I don't know that I believe that.
I don't know if I do either. That's crazy. That would be crazy, especially with this draft in particular, right? I mean,
well, yeah, that's the thing, is he's, especially this draft is one where, because you don't have a lot of sure things, you're going to get people betting on upside. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
People talk about that Salon guy go top 10.
Yeah.
And stuff. I don't understand how we have top 10 buzz for him, but you don't have that for Ron Holland.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, okay, so you have the same opinion then, that maybe it's possibly the fact that people are taking more chances because this draft isn't that strong. Because I know he seems like as sure as a thing as it comes, but it's like we're starting to get all these reports. He can get out of the lottery, but then you can get Salon. That's insane to me. Even the Devin Carter thing was weird to me.
I'll disagree on the point that I don't know that he's a sure thing. I mean, every pick is a risk there, but I don't think there's this. Let me put it this way. I don't think there's 15 players better than him in this draft right now. And I don't think that there's 15 with higher upside than him right now.
Is there even a prospect that has better defense than him?
I mean, the defense is tough because there's a couple of good defensive prospects. I mean, Sarr's a good defender. Castle's a really good defender. I mean, you get down, even Reed Sheppard's a decent defender, though I don't know how that'll translate to the pros. But as far as, I guess, overall ability to defend the inside and out, he's probably the best in the draft just because of his size and all that.
Yeah.
But, I've seen a lot of things come down to, they talk about guys shooting, and yeah, his shooting has not been good, but there are not a lot of guys in this draft whose shooting has been good that are towards the top there.
Dude, Topic.
Sarr's hit and miss. Topic has been hit and miss. Castle's hit and miss. He's hit and miss. Buzelis is hit and miss. Salon's hit and miss. It's just, if you want a consistent shooter, you basically have to look at somebody like Reed Sheppard, who I think is more of an off-ball guard.
Yeah.
I don't hate him as a prospect. I just don't see him as like a top 5 pick. You got Dillingham, who's a very good shooter, but he's small, not much of a defender and all that. You wonder how it translates. You have Dalton Connect, who's a good shooter, but not going to be much of an NBA defender, and he's older. So it's really just kind of a pick your poison. And I think that's why I like Holland, is I'd rather take somebody who has the upside, and this is my bias though. I like, those athletic wings with upside who can play defense at an elite level, and I think he's there. I don't know if the shot will ever come around, but I think his role in the NBA is going to be a lot different than what he did in the G League. I mean, they didn't have a point guard, so he's basically has to run the offense a lot, and he's never going to do that in San Antonio if he goes there.
I feel like with Holland, you're really sacrificing less than you could be with other prospects. I mean, the only thing that worries me with him is the shooting, which I know that's a big deal in the NBA, but he has all the tools available. He has the defense. He has the lateral quickness. He has the hands. He has the strength. He has everything. Like, I don't really think that you're sacrificing him. Even basketball IQ wise, he's pretty smart. He uses his pretty well.
Him trying to run the offense, a lot of times he'd get in situations where he'd over dribble and he'd make some bad passes and stuff like that. He'd take some bad shots. But again, that's him playing as an on-ball guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not going to be doing that if he comes to us. We're going to get our point guard, and he's going to be a small forward. And depending on who the point guard is and all that, he's not even going to be a top 2 option on the team to start out. We've got Wembanyama as our first option, obviously. We've still got Devin. We're going to have others in there. I understand the concern for spacing and all that, but I look at other guys who have been asked to do much more in their roles in the past, and he compares so similarly to them. I mean, there's Jaylen Brown. I mean, their measurements are almost identical, similar athleticism, similar defensive skill set. Same thing. Jaylen Brown was asked to do a lot when he was at Cal. Averaged over 2 turnovers a game, just like Holland did. Shot poorly from 3, and now the shots come around. So I don't know. I buy into it. I can understand people that don't buy into it, but I really don't get him falling out of the lottery. That just makes no sense to me.
That's insane. You mentioned propaganda. I wonder if there is something going on. I mean, there's been certain guys that they've really been propping up where I don't think, at least from what I've seen, that they should be as high as they're making them out to be. Not to disrespect Shea or anything. I think he's a really great prospect, but sheesh, he's getting one.
That one I really don't get. I think Shea is a good player, and I think he's going to be fine, but I just don't know that I see him as a top 2 pick like he's being billed. He's one of those. He doesn't have a low center of gravity. His handle isn't particularly great. And I just don't see him being able to do much other than be a spot up guy who can occasionally drive to the basket. His frame is his frame is kind of like Chet Holmgren's in the sense that he's not very broad in the shoulders, and you wonder how well he's actually going to fill out in the league. He's a good defender, but he's already struggling with physicality with these guys in Europe. How's that going to fare when he gets to the NBA and he's not able to fill out as big? That's where I was talking earlier with someone about why I was wanting Wemby instead of Chet. Obviously, I'm biased as a Spurs fan, but Wemby's got more of a frame kind of like Anthony Davis than Chet does, to where he's going to be able to fill out and hold his own. And Shea is that one where he'll get stronger, but I just don't ever see him being the force that they say he's going to be.
Yeah, I think logic surpasses any bias you have when you say that Wemby is better than Chet. Like that's like obvious. Yeah, I was trying to find I guess it wasn't a clip. I can't find it. But one thing that you mentioned about Shea was saying that he needs to improve with the ball in his hands, and he even mentioned that. It's really strange. This is really strange that he's getting as much love as he has. Not to say he doesn't deserve it. I mean, he's obviously a lottery pick, but 1 or 2 is crazy. So, okay, well, as far as I definitely wanted to start there when it came to the whole drops, and just got your idea of or what you think this whole thing is about with him dropping out of the lottery. That just seems weird to me. And one person mentioned in the chat earlier, they said, well, maybe it's possibly the fact that some stuff had come out about him. I'm like, maybe, but I feel like that will be out there now, right? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's why I don't know what to think of this there. But I mean, we've seen this with other guys who had the same kind of concerns people wondered about. G.G. Jackson last year, he dropped to the 2nd round, and I thought he was worth a top 10 pick last year, and he wasn't taken top 10, and he's really good. But same kind of problems there. At Cam Whitmore, I thought was worth a top 5 selection, and he fell to 20 and ended up being really good for the Rockets. It happens.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Well, it's good that we at least address that one. That's good. All right. So let's shoot. I guess we can jump to Modest. I mean, I don't think it's much to really talk about here, but I guess I'll just give you my opinion of him. Yeah, I'll just start off with my opinion of Modest Buzelis, and then you tell me what you think of him. But I love him. Even now, even as much as I love Ron Holland, I think I still have Buzelis over him. I haven't even made I know you made your big board already. I haven't did mine, but I think I'll have him ahead of Ron Holland. But I love his basketball IQ. I love his shot making ability. He knows who he is. He knows how to get to his spots. He's very smooth, doesn't rush anything. I think defensively, while he's not like a point of attack defender or anything like that, I think he could be a really great help defender, especially when you have somebody like Wembanyama lurking around. I think he's really going to shine with that type of environment. But just overall, I like him a lot with his size, and cultural wise as well. Watched interviews of him. Seems like a great kid, very smart. But yeah, I think those are just my overall. As far as concerns, I don't have that many, to be real with you. I know that he was really inconsistent from 3 early on, but I'm not really that concerned, because I think you've even mentioned this to me, like how his shooting was, much better prior to this. So, it might have just been an adjustment thing, and going to the G League is pretty tough. Going against grown men and everything. But so what are your overall thoughts about Modest Buzelis? Where would you take him? Would you take him over? I don't think you would take him over Holland, right? But like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think I'd take him over Holland, but I'd definitely take him. I like Buzelis. He's another one I think a lot of people overthink. I mean, a different kind of player in the sense that, he's not as athletic or, much of a defensive stopper.
Yeah.
He's a good weak side defender. He's not really like an on-ball defender, and I think laterally he's a bit slow to stay in front of guys completely at the next level.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've had really bad defender in that small forward spot. So, I guess he's an upgrade over that. I mean, I think he's good at changes of speed. He's creative. For his size, he's got pretty good wiggle when he has the ball. He plays under control and all that, sets the floor well, makes some pretty good passes to people. I mean, to me, the thing with him, kind of similar to what I said with Risa Shea, not so much with the strength. He does need to improve that, but I feel like he's a little too straight up when he handles a lot of times, similar with Risa Shea, and he picks up his dribble a little too early, too often.
So you think he's going to turn the ball over a lot? That's what you're saying.
They're all going to turn the ball over a lot. They're rookies.
Yeah, but
for God's sake, how many turnovers did generational Wembanyama have this season per game?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is the thing. They are not perfect players by any means. All of them are going to have low moments and high moments during this season here.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing about Buzelis, like you said, his mechanics look good. He's had inconsistencies with his shot, but he's shown ability over time to, keep those consistent and improve. He doesn't have a lot of bad misses. And frankly, when he's in more of a catch and shoot role, he thrives a lot better. Like I said, I think he needs to speed up his release a little bit. He's a little slow on that.
That is true. Well, I literally got him practicing right now. You can tell is pretty slow.
Yeah, to me, the biggest weakness there is when he gets contacted, it usually throws him off balance. So it kind of limits his effectiveness when he has the ball. But again, I don't see him as being an on-ball guy. It's going to be him playing probably a 3 or even a 4 role where he doesn't have to create much, and he was having to do much more than he should have on this G League team. So yeah, I know people won't like to hear that, he's going to be like a role player, third option kind of guy, but I don't really see anybody in this draft that I can say for certain is going to be one of those top option guys. But also, we don't need that. We have that already.
I know this.
I think he fits. I've heard he interviews really, really well with teams. Like he knows what. I don't know if it's just he knows what to say or he actually believes it. But teams seem to really like him personality wise.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that. You mentioned him with the G League, and I think that it is a little ironic because this is what we need. But I feel like a lot of the hate that he gets is the fact that he had to handle the ball a lot, and he didn't have a traditional point guard on that team. Am I right? Or
I mean, they didn't, and that hurt a lot because both him and Holland. I mean, every single one of them, had to do way more than what they're used to doing. He has never been, maybe in high school when he's a phenomenon on a team with lesser players and all that. Same with Holland, but they were not called upon to be the point guards and stuff like that, and all of a sudden they are. It's a different game, especially when they're playing against lottery picks from other teams that are in the G League in some instances. I mean, they played against Oklahoma City and Ousmane Dieng was in there that they're playing against. These are guys who have been in the NBA for years and grown men who were great in college who are out there. So they're going to struggle.
Yeah,
that's just how it works. I I think he's going to be a fine player. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, he's most likely to bust," and he could. You never know what's going to happen with the guys, but he's got enough of a definable skill set. I'd be fine with taking him.
Yeah, and I like his craftiness too. Like I said, I'm just a sucker for guys that know their spots, can get to their spots, and like you said, he's not the most athletic person in the world or anything like that. But man, he will find his spot, and you can't really stop him from doing what he wants to do when he gets hot. But like you say, he has to get some weight.
We watched him kind of take over in that those games in the All-Star game. I think he had the G League team playing against Wemby's team.
Yeah.
They beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, he played really well there. I think his game translates much better to being kind of an off-ball guy than it does in that on-ball role he had there.
Yeah. And if it comes down to it right now, just how I'm feeling, if it's at 4, I'm taking him over Holland. But you would still take Holland?
I think I would take Holland over him, but I'm not going to. That's the thing. The nature of this draft is I have my guys I say, oh, I want them to take, but
it's not a loss for you.
If they take any of them, I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, it's not a loss for you. All right, well, let's see. Let's take a look at. I actually did a poll here. Let's see what the people said. I said, do you want Modest at 4? 67% said no. 33% said yeah. Thoughts on that? Are they all wrong?
I told you that would happen.
They're all wrong.
I don't know that it's wrong, but I've just seen, it seems that throughout this draft process, I've been much higher on Buzelis than the consensus. So I expect that.
Yeah.
But the thing that's interesting is I see polls like that all the time, and it's between two players, and it's always usually a no for somebody, and that's the thing. I cannot get a gauge on who people actually really want us to take it for. It's such an interesting year for this.
I think it's really going off. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I don't sit here and watch every single game known to man, but I think it really does come down to narrative and what's kind of going around. Because I mean, everyone would have said Dilly literally just a couple months ago. And now it's like no way that they would take Dilly at 4. Now it's Ricochet, and it's Holland. They loved Holland a few months ago, but now Holland, no, we don't want him even at 8. So I think it just depends on what's going around, what the professionals are saying, But we all know that sometimes they're pretty, they have an incentive to go certain ways. What they have to say. Okay, well, cool. Let's move on then.
Let's do it.
Actually, I guess I can get your opinion on this, because once I upload this, like these segments, it'll be later on. It'll be right before the lottery, or the week before the lottery. So we could talk about this. I don't think this will change, right? This won't change. I did want to get your thoughts on the news that broke, which, let's just act like this is the future. Way back, this broke a while ago. Is your boy Darius Garland and the San Antonio Spurs being interested in him? What? Okay, so I know for a fact, okay, because you're a smart person, okay. I know for a fact you would take Darius Garland, like you would want Darius Garland for the Spurs, like.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that's the first step. All right. Second step, and this is the big step. What would you be willing to give up for Darius Garland? And yeah, so just players, draft picks, whatever. Like the most, the absolute most. Not what you can get away with, but like the most.
Probably more than most people, honestly.
Okay, what's up?
I mean, to me, I'd give them Keldon, Malachi. They can have pick 8. I'd give them the Chicago pick, and then you can throw them that Hornets protected pick too.
Okay, so here, actually, let me do a poll. Actually, let's do this. You trade for Darius. Okay, so I'm actually completely agree with you. I actually gone farther, I think, than you, because I possibly would give up that 4th and 8th if it is true. I know this would be super risky, but if it is true that Ron Holland could slip out of the lottery, I mean, one thing that would be really cool is if the Spurs could manage to trade up somehow with all those second-round picks we have, second-round galore. But I don't know if that's possible. But maybe in this draft it would be. Because 2025 is a better draft. So I would be willing to give up the 4th, the 8th, and the Chicago's next year. And then the Hornets, I'm cool with that one too, but that doesn't convey. I just don't know if that's enough. I guess that's a question too I have for you. Do you think that that's enough with what you put forward? You said the 8th, Chicago, Hornets, Keldon, Malachi. You think that's enough?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they would deem enough. It's tough. It just depends on how they value, and that's the thing with this is you're going in blind. But I mean, to me, Garland is already better than what you're hoping Dillingham becomes.
Yeah.
It's funny because I see a lot of people talk about Garland's too small and all this. Well, he's bigger than Dillingham is.
Yeah, Dilly's like 6'1".
I think he weighed 160 pounds when they weighed him, which is tiny.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, defensive wise, he's a better defense. He does everything better. Actually, I mean, obviously him being older, he's gonna have better skill sets, being in the NBA a little bit longer. But defensively, I think he's better than him too. 1.3 steals per game.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a great defender. I'm not going to sit here and act like Garland's locking people up or anything. And,
No.
The steals,
The bar
steals are a lot of those, like, gets in the lane and gets something like that. He's not like a huge pickpocket or anything.
The bar is low. I'm just comparing him to Dilly.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Garland's like 6'1", 190 some pounds. He's quick and all that kind of stuff. That's the thing. I mean, yes, I know Dillingham can develop and all that, but I think you're basically, if you draft Dillingham, if you're looking at him at 4 or 8, you're basically hoping for a player that ends up like Garland. And yeah. I mean, I think Garland is being undervalued a lot right now just because of what happened this season. And I mean, he had a freaking broken jaw injury. The guy lost like 12 pounds and had to kind of relearn things and work on stuff. I mean, and he still came out and put up decent numbers.
It's funny that you say that because someone in the chat just asked a question, and I think that this is a pretty decent segue. But before I get into that question that they just asked, let's go ahead and stop this poll. Let's see what yeah, we can end it. That was quite a few votes. So I said, would you trade for Darius Garland? And as far as percentage wise, we had 67% people say yes. 32% said no. Now somebody asked this question. This is a good question, and I'll answer it first, and then I'll pass it off to you. They said, would you rather have Garland versus Trey? Who would you take? Contextually, I'm taking Garland. Only because right now it seems like the Atlanta Hawks might be asking for much more. And if I can hold on to the Atlanta Hawks, I mean, it's a big if, but if I can hold on to the Atlanta Hawks picks and still get him, I think that that's a W, like undeniable W. But I don't think we'll be able to get away with that with Trae Young. And as far as like talent gap, I mean, I think Trae Young's better, but Garland, we don't have to have like a superstar caliber talent for us to be a playoff team. I mean, we have Wemby, we have our guy, but Garland, I think it's good enough at that spot. I mean, he's a really great talent. So contextually, I would take Garland.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I think Trae Young's a better player, and if it were both equal scenarios, I'd be like, yeah, duh, Trae.
Yeah.
But I just think given the situations and how things have gone, yeah, I think you can. If what they say is true, that the value is lower on Garland and you can get him for something cheaper, yeah, I would rather take that than trading away 4 or 5 picks to get Trae Young and all that. Plus, Garland's on a cheaper contract and all that kind of stuff. There's context to it. Trae's absolutely the better player, but I think, like you said, with the context, I'd say Garland.
Yeah, Garland's younger too, right? How old is Garland? 23?
I think he's a little bit older than that. I think he's like 24, about to be 25. Let me see.
Okay. So it doesn't really matter then.
Yeah, he's 24.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're the same age, just about. So.
Yeah, but he won't turn 25 until January of this coming year.
Oh, okay, yeah. Trae Young turns 26 in a few months. All right, well, yeah. So good question. So, yeah. So I guess both of us on the same page there. I think we both would give up quite a bit. Do you think my like 4th and 8th is too much though?
2 top 10s is a lot. Excuse me. A lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you can get away with that and none of our picks in 2025 going, I mean, I'd at least consider it.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to turn down anything without looking at it. And I think, honestly, I think Garland is going to end up being better than anybody that comes out of this draft. Right here. So like you kind of got to weigh, do I want to get 2 of these players or a sure thing here? And you know, yeah, it is still early in our rebuild, but it's time where you got to ask these tough questions. Do you want to pick someone this year? Do you want to add a solid proven piece? And
yeah.
So I mean, you know, it's a tough question, but it's one you got to ask.
Yeah. Somebody said Trae Young and Holland or Salon. I mean, come on. Obviously Holland.
Yeah. No, I'll say this about Salon. Out of all the like raw project players, he's the one I can see people liking the most because he's the one that it feels like his good things that happen on the court are not just luck. When it happens to him, it feels like it's a result of him actually improving things rather than just doing the same thing and getting lucky. But God, man, he is so raw.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that I think he's, you know, 2 to 3 years away from really being anything close to an NBA player. And I don't know if that's the kind of guy we really want to go after anymore. Now that they may, you never know. The Spurs have done it before, so we'll have to see.
I feel like you do that when you're already pretty established. I don't know, man. It just seemed like with the Spurs, I guess it's 2, you know, ends of the spectrum here. You can go after certain guys like Devin Carter that I think is pretty sure thing once he gets to the NBA, but ceiling isn't that high. But he could be a role player, but he seems like somebody you just put on a team as like icing on the cake. Like, okay, you add him and you already established squad. And then Salon is one that he is going to have to cook up for a while, maybe in the G League. Which I guess is still where I guess this would be the time to do it. I mean, with such a young team, but at 8, that's wild. That's tough, especially if the rumor is true that Holland could be available there. Castle could possibly be available. I don't know if I would do it. That's wild. But yeah. Anyways,
it's also just I don't know. I think Wembanyama has come along a lot faster than anybody anticipated. I mean, towards the end of the year, he was doing kind of what I expected towards the end of next year and all that. And not that I'm saying, oh, trade away everything and go grab something and let's go for it right now. We're not ready for that quite yet. But
yeah,
I don't know that taking a huge swing like that is really something we want to do anymore. You know, if we hadn't gotten Wemby, sure, let's try it. But
yeah. You don't really have to. All right. Well, let's see. Moving on. All right. What were we going to talk about? We got off topic. I'm sorry. Okay. We mentioned Salon. I don't think. Is it worth it talking about Salon? Wasn't there some news on Salon? What was the news? What was the latest news on Salon?
All I saw is that like people were thinking of him as a lottery pick. Okay. Which is, I mean, yeah, I guess someone who wants to take a chance on a guy like him. He's got really high upside, but he's also got a low floor.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have to. We'll skip that. All right. Let's talk about. Oh, is this it? All right. So, all right. I talked about this before. But I think that is worth, and this could be a really quick discussion. I just want to get your take on this. So I don't know if you've heard, but there was a Bleacher Report mock draft, which by the time that I'm uploading this, I don't know if this would have changed, but they actually had the San Antonio Spurs taking Devin Carter at 8. And I was like, where the heck is that coming from? Well, there's also an article here that says Devin Carter is rumored to have received a draft promise in the lottery. And we already know that it's also been discussed in rumors around that the San Antonio Spurs could be interested in him. So I think that that's what they're banking on there. So my initial thoughts are, I think that he fits almost any team just because he's jack of all trades. He can do quite a bit of things on the court. High motor, plays the game the right way, tough guy. But I'm just a little afraid to try to grab him at 8 in this lottery when there could be someone potentially better due to his age, because I don't think that his ceiling is that high. But I mean, as far as averages, 19.7, they put it in this article, 19.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, which is insane for his size. Because how tall is he? 6'3"?
Yeah, it depends on the site. There was, I don't know if you saw it, but there was some site that accidentally typoed it and listed him at like 16'8".
Oh my god!
I was like,
maybe we should get him.
I was like, man, he's way taller than I thought he was.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, because rebounding wise, wait, he wasn't the player that I might be mixing up with somebody. Was he the player that had the most rebounds, like a record for most rebounds of the season?
Yeah.
Okay, that was him. Okay. Super impressive. So they got him listed. Yeah, they got him listed 6'2" right here. That's an insane amount of rebounds. That just shows how much hustle he brings. And then 1.8 steals, 1 block per game, nearly 4 assists. So it's like, I get it. I do get it. It's just one of those things where what's his ceiling, So like, would you take him at 8, or you think that's a stretch, or what do you think?
I mean, it's high, but it's one of those things. He is a very good player, and he's one of those. I've said he kind of reminds of like Caruso at times. Sometimes there's like a little bit of George Hill to him.
Yeah.
And all that. I think he's going to end up being like a decently efficient player. His shooting really improved from his first to his second year, which is kind of what vaulted him up boards there. And he's a good defender. Just a smart guy. He is older, yeah, but it's one of those things where I don't think older is always that bad right now, especially if we're looking to accelerate a rebuild a bit.
True.
He's
That's
not like
true.
my first choice there, but I'd be fine if they took him there. I tend to think that his lottery promise was probably someone like Memphis or OKC.
Okay.
Like a contending team that's ready for someone to come in like that and make an instant impact.
See,
but
that's what
I know
I'm thinking.
He liked his workout.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like the Spurs, it seems a little strange only because he seems like the perfect player to go to a team that's already winning, already established, and he like brings you over the edge. Well, with the Spurs, we're still kind of being real, still trying to find another guy next to Wemby. Not to say Vassell isn't like phenomenal. I love Vassell, but we still need that other scorer.
Yeah,
Jeremy Sohan is not going to be that. I mean, he can on occasion, but that's not his game. So you're still searching for that. It's like, would you take this player at 8? I don't know. And where you could really start to utilize what he does well, it won't be until like a few years before it really starts to shine, I would think. I don't know. It just seems strange.
the thing that gets tricky with it is, like I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, just trade down." But if you trade down, directly below us is Memphis, who I think would really want him, and then there's Houston, or not Houston, OKC at 12, who has Houston's pick, and I think they would want him. So I don't know that it's a situation where you really can trade down and get him there. Just because of other teams wanting him. So I think it's either you have him set at your guy as 8, or you just kind of let him go.
Yeah, someone mentioned it could be Houston. I was like, I don't think Houston's gonna take him. That would be stupid high. Was Houston 3?
Yeah, well, they have the Nets pick though, so that's
okay. Yeah, I don't know there. All right. Well, let's see. I did another poll. I said, would you take Devin Carter at 8? And we had dude, we keep getting this like 68-ish%. 68%. Yeah, 68% said no. 31% said yes. All right. Okay. I'll accept that. All right. Moving on. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember exactly what we were going to talk about. Hold on. Oh crap, did I get rid of it? Where is it? No, here it is. I don't feel like we have to talk about I don't know. You want to do Sheppard and Holland and get out of here?
Well, we already did Holland.
Yeah, we did discuss Holland.
We can do Sheppard and Castle.
I don't know why I have Holland here. That's cool. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Sheppard. We'll start with Sheppard.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. All right. So this is actually a player I have not discussed at all, on the channel. So Reed, Sheppard. Once again, I'll just give you my overall thoughts on him. At least how I feel. So, gosh, I wonder how can I describe this? To me, he's like a player that fundamentals are definitely there, right? I feel like he's fundamentally sound as far as his shooting ability. He's always square to the basket. He has pretty good hands. Defensively, he's not the best defender in the world, but he has good hands. He makes the right reads for the most part. He's probably more than likely not going to be. I know some people brought up could he be a pure point guard? I don't think that'll be the case. More than likely, he'll be a role player, off dribble type guy. I guess I'm just a little weary here. I think what's getting him a lot of love is that 3-point percentage, which is really insane. 52% is really impressive. Only shooting about 4 a game, but stupid impressive there. I think that's where a lot of that love is coming from. His mechanics are phenomenal. But one thing that worries me is I just don't really think that he has the capability as far as the tools in his physical toolbox to really take it to the next level. Because I saw some people bringing up oh, he could be like Steph Curry. It's I don't see that at all. I mean, he has a little bit of creativity, but not much when it comes to getting to the basket. His pull-up game isn't the best. He can stop on a dime, I think, but I don't know, man. I know I sound kind of scatterbrained. He's just one of those guys that I'm just not seeing as far as when people say he's a top 5 pick or whatever. I don't know if I would take him at 4. I think that's kind of a little bit of a stretch. I'm a little afraid that lack of athletic ability and creativity is really going to hurt him. He also seems to not really get very physical. Defensively, seems pretty bad at times. I mean, he takes a lot of gambles. Sometimes he's ball watching way too often. He gets a little lost. It's just weird, man. Was it the game against was it Florida where he looked really bad defensive wise? Do you remember? Hello? Oh crap. Guys, I think he's gone. I think we lost him. Did I lose you? Swish, I love you. I think Swish is gone. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh god, he left. He really likes his guy. He really likes Reed Sheppard. We'll see what he says in a minute. He's a high floor, low ceiling. Ooh. Oh, okay. He's good. We're gonna do that whole spiel again. He just texted me his computer shut off. Yeah, we're gonna do that whole spiel again. Get ready. Second take. I think I'll be able to expand on my thoughts a little bit better anyway. Actually, while we're waiting for him to return, let me go ahead and put a poll. We can just start that up now. Oh gosh, would you? How should I phrase this? Because he's definitely. I think most people say they wouldn't take him at 4, right? So we probably should do 8. Would you take Reed Sheppard at 8? I think that's probably the best way to go about it, right? Yeah, there we go. Go ahead and start voting, guys. Start voting. And while we're waiting on my boy to come back, I think I could shout myself out. Okay. If you guys are interested in any merch, clanthemerchfan.com. This is by far my favorite. I'm sorry. I had to make myself a shirt of this one. A lot of people have been getting the Bonjour one recently. So we have about 3 people. Yeah, I think we got about 3 people right now that I'm getting to. So I should have yours done this upcoming week and shipped out to you by the end of this upcoming week. So those people are good, but if you want to be next in line, please head on over to clanthemerchfan.com. Link in my description. Get yourself some merch, man. Get yourself some merch, man. That'd be good. And then we'll you just gotta be patient with me, because this upcoming week, I probably, being honest, completely honest with you, if you order right now, I probably won't get to it until at least a couple weeks. Like I can get all the material and everything, but as far as like shipping it out, because I'm going to be gone for an entire week, the week after next. So leading up to the draft, I'll be gone that week before the draft, the week before the draft. So it'll be a minute. I won't be in town. But if you guys want to support, you know, that's how you can support. And you will get your stuff. Like, don't worry. You will get your stuff. It's just going to take a minute. But there's a lot of stuff. And also, if you go down here, I think people only see the ones on the front page. I probably need to fix this. If you scroll all the way down, there's a button down here that says view all products. And there's also something at the top as well that's like all that you can hit. But you could type in view all products and then all of them show up. Then you just go to the next page and all of them show up. So there's a lot. There's a lot here. Gosh, doesn't it suck that I had to get rid of? I had a Primo one. I literally had just like spent so much money on a Primo one, and then it was gone. Or, well, I had to take it off because, you know, Primo did what he did. I thought I heard something. Are you back?
I'm back, finally.
Hey.
I don't know what the heck that was.
No, it's all good. All right. So
I heard you talking, and then my screen just went black, and I was like, oh, no.
is this your, are you on your computer?
No, I'm on Ashes.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me see. All right. So I'll reiterate what I said. All right. So I actually put a poll up, so we'll see how that poll is looking when we're done. But really quick, Reed Sheppard. I don't have that many thoughts. I feel like fundamental wise, it's all there. Like I think he's fundamentally sound. His 3-point shot is beautiful. His stroke game is beautiful. No Diddy. It really is impressive. Like truly is impressive. But it just seems as if, and he makes the right plays as well, like passes the ball pretty well. But it just seems as if when I'm watching him, it's like, can he put it all together? Because I don't think he has like the physical tools to necessarily be like, people brought up, oh, he's like Steph Curry. I don't see that. You know, I think he dribbles the ball fairly well, but I don't see him being a Steph Curry. I don't think his creativity is enough. I could see him being a role player in the NBA for sure. I don't know if the ball will be in his hands like a lot of the times. I think some people have said, is he like a pure point guard or can he be a point guard? It's like maybe, but I don't think that that'll be the case. I think what I'm really worried about though is not only the physical tools and the creativity offensively, but I'm really worried about his defense. Really worried about it because he has the hands. Like he has really great hands as far as you know, like I said, fundamental wise, it's there. He's a smart player, but gosh, it seems like he avoids contact, dude. I don't know. I mentioned this before. I think that's when your computer just shut off. But was it? He does a lot of ball watching. He takes a lot of gambles. Was it the game versus the Florida where he looked really terrible defensively? Like it was like full display. Was that the game?
Yeah, he looked pretty bad against Florida. I mean, even his last game of the season when they got upset by Oakland, he was the guy assigned to guard that kid that was going ballistic from 3 on Oakland, and he could not stay with him.
Yeah. It seems like his brain just kind of I don't know. He can't afford those mental lapses, especially when he already doesn't have some of the physical tools to keep up. I mean, laterally, it seems like he's always trying to recover. I mean, always. So it just kind of worries me a little bit. I won't buy into the hype of people saying is he the next this, is he the next that. I just think that he'll be a pretty solid role player in the NBA, not somebody that's going to just destroy your team. And I think one thing that gets people excited is they see that 52% from 3 and they're like, oh my god, what can he be in the NBA? And it's like, well, he's not going to shoot 52%, and he's also only shooting about 4 threes a game. So yeah, anyways, what are your what are your overall thoughts about him? I guess I'm just not that high on him as some people, but
no, I like Reed. I'm not that high on him either. I think, again, with the nature of this draft, I don't think he'd be talked about going top 3 any other time. Really, I think he is a good fit in Houston at 3. But I mean, like you said, he's kind of what they call an analytics darling.
Yeah,
he's got the shooting efficiency, he's got the defensive metrics and all that. So everybody's really enticed. He can score from 3 levels. Most comfortable from like mid-range and out, and catch off the bounce. He's got a nice shot. He gets teammates easy looks. But I mean, the thing is, like, he doesn't have ideal size and physique. I think he's going to be a fine player, but Curry's a stretch. Curry was very quick in college, an insane ball handler in college. I mean, Curry, there were nights he was putting up 30 multiple nights in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, Reed Sheppard, here's an interesting thing for you. So, his scoring is real up and down. He had like 7 games where he scored 20 or more points. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at his game log, he had like 12 or 13 where he had less than 10. So it's a real up and down thing there for him. He struggles to get off shots against good defenses because he's not a primary ball handler. He's good at running the pick and roll, but he's just not much of a creator there. And, we saw at Oakland, struggling to hit shots there. I mean, in that game against Oakland, he was 1 of 3 from 3, and it took until the very end to get that shot to go. It was a deep 3, but he could not get going because they were playing tight defense on him, and he struggles with that. I think he's best suited to playing a specific role on a team.
Yeah,
I don't know that that's a point guard per se. Because he played more of an off-guard role next to Dillingham at Kentucky. I mean, that's why I keep saying I think Houston is a good situation, because they need kind of that off-ball guard that doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time there. Mm-hmm. I think his defense will be fine. I don't think he's going to be a brute force defender like people are saying. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that say he's Steph Curry or something like that. I don't see that. He honestly reminds me a bit more of like Kirk Heinrich, who was also a very good player. Mm-hmm. And all that. But yeah, he tanked that vertical test. I mean, he even talked about it himself, with not putting his hands up as high so it looked like he had more athleticism than he does. He's going to be a fine player, but it's just a tough one to want to take top 5 for me there.
Well, one thing that worries me defensively too is I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to guard 2 guards. Like I think he's only going to be able to guard maybe point guards. I don't think he'll be able to. It just seems like a switching nightmare, right? If I'm just thinking of in the Spurs perspective, like if you were to take him, we need some serious guys next to Wemby right now. And don't get me wrong, like he could be somebody that eventually comes off the bench and he's a part of the bigger picture. But I think the Spurs got some really great options at 4 and 8, which I don't know if you want to take it on, somebody that's possibly like a a role player. But gosh, I could just see him being a switching nightmare. Am I out of pocket for that, or?
No, I don't think so at all. He's undersized. He's got good defensive instincts, and he's good at getting steals and lanes and stuff. But like the biggest thing there is defensive playmaking like that does not equal lockdown defense. And there's been a lot of times this year where he's not in the right position off the ball, or he doesn't make quick reactions or quick reads on defense and all that. He's smart, so I think he'll be all right, but he's not going to be this elite defender people are expecting. Honestly, I've seen scouts say that they view him more as like a Dante DiVincenzo guy who's more of an offensive energizer and just like okay on defense. But even then, I mean, how tall is DiVincenzo? I don't actually.
He looked like he's like 6'5".
I know he's taller. I think he's like 6'4" or something like that. So, and Reed is listed at 6'2", so he's a little taller. But yeah, I don't see this elite player that people are talking about.
So somebody say Clan hates shooters. He's living in 2014. It's like, no, I don't hate shooters. I just think these are better prospects available. I love shooters, but I mean, do I take somebody who's phenomenal defensively and has a lot of versatility on the defensive end, even the offensive end, athletic wise, and has just so much promise when it comes to those parts of their game? Or do I take somebody who's a shooter that's just going to be a role player? Like, I don't know. I feel like one might be a little harder to get than the other, right? Like that's just how I view it. One just might be a little harder to get than the other.
You loved Josh Primo, and he was a shooter when we drafted him. That's basically all he was when we drafted him. He was an upside swing.
Yeah, I love what Devin Vassell brings, and I mean, he scores, he shoots his butt off. So I mean, obviously shooting is important. I obviously think shooting is important. I just don't think. I just feel like if you're it's harder to find some lockdown defenders and guys at certain size that have certain skill sets than it is to find someone who is a shooter that you could get maybe in free agency or something like that. Like I don't think it's as hard to find like those specialty players as it is someone that with ultimate upside like Buzelis or like Holland, or Castle. So, but yeah, let's see what the people said. All right, so oh gosh, it's all over the place. Okay, it's still jumping. Okay, just end it. All right, so I said, would you take? Because I felt like Reed Sheppard at 4 just seemed kind of high. I feel like most people wouldn't say this, but I said, would you take him at 8? 75% said yes. 24% said no. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like these polls need a little bit more context. I don't know. Check all bad shooting teams. They are all with a lot of L's. You know who is.
That doesn't mean you go out and immediately. I mean, we still have free agency too. We need shooters, absolutely, but that doesn't mean you have to go out and draft one immediately. Now that said, I'm not opposed to drafting someone because of their shooting, but I just think we're still in a stage where we need to be looking for more when we do that.
The most valuable asset you have in the NBA, especially in the direction the NBA is going, is your draft picks, your lottery picks. I just would not use it on a guy that could potentially just end up being a role-playing, sharpshooter. Like, I think sharpshooting is important. Don't get me wrong. It is very important. But I don't know if I would go out of my way to use my draft pick for that. When it could be some guys it's going to be some guys that are specialty three-point shoot that could be available. Shoot, Abaji, right? How's Abaji doing? I haven't kept up. How's Abaji doing?
I mean, I don't think he's like elite three-point shooter. I mean, he's decent.
No, I mean with his team, are they like getting ready to are they trying to keep him, or I have no idea what's going on with that situation.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know if they were like if there was any news that they were thinking of trading him or anything like that. I'm just saying that was one guy that came to my mind where it's like after a couple seasons they might not be showing that much promise, and you can just grab them. That could that Spurs take hey, this is your role. This is all we need you to do. And they become elite at that. I mean, I hate to say it, but Bryn Forbes became a pretty good shooter as well. And, I don't think he did too hot, in other places. Well, he did okay with the Bucks, right? He did okay.
Ironically, he did better with the physicality part after the league, but fucking idiots.
He a 69 god. Run for your life.
Hey.
All right, let's see. All right, so let's do I guess we'll end on Castle. I didn't have anything up for Castle. Hold on. Crap. I should have had something up for Castle. Castle, if we got Castle, even more so with the 4th pick, right?
Probably, yeah. I don't see him falling below teams that are below us in the draft. Like I think Charlotte's looking for someone like him too.
Okay. All right. So I just said, would you take Stephon Castle at 4? All right. Let me bring up his stats. I didn't have any of it up. UConn. All right.
They're in the center of some rumors now. That'll be interesting.
What's that?
Their coach is supposed to be offered by the Lakers this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I gotta say, he's a good coach, but I can't stand Dan Hurley, so that would make sense if the Lakers took him.
Dude, what's up with that JJ Redick stuff? Is that even real?
I don't know.
I've been hearing a lot of that. I have no footage of Stephon Castle for some reason. He's avoiding draft workouts?
He's basically, I don't know, people need to listen to his full interview. He wants to go to a team that doesn't have a starting point guard in place. Castle was a point guard in high school and then went to Connecticut. They already had a point guard there. They had Tristan Newton running most stuff. So he basically played the 3 for UConn and was forced to play kind of a reduced role and all that. But, they won a national title, so it worked. And now they're saying he wants to go back to playing point, which is fine. It just depends on how he looks at the point, because we haven't seen it in a while. And I think it could work, but he also said in his interviews, he likes to play point. He feels like he's there, but he also, is willing to accommodate things, and he knows he can play different roles too. So I don't think that thing's enough for any other team to be scared off from drafting him just because they have a point guard in place. But I mean, it seems like that's what he's kind of angling for.
Okay. I see this video from 9 years ago. Is this Stephon Castle? 9 years ago?
Oh my god.
It only has 147 views.
Really, like 10 years old? According to you, that's when I started watching him.
Yeah, you were scouting him. I see you right over there on the bleachers. I
swear, man, you can't throw shit like that around.
Run for your life. Okay. All right. Okay. I have no footage on Stephon Castle. That's okay. Who cares? Wait. Where's the... Okay, cool. All right. So, Steph... What's that?
I just saw it's on a delay. I just saw that video you were talking about as you pulled up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
He's like a little kid. I think that's him. That's the Stephon Castle, I think. Unfortunately, he's wearing a LeBron jersey. I don't know what that's about.
Oh man.
Yeah, unless that's him. I don't know what's going on. Pretty cool stuff. Anyways, nonetheless, so here we go. So I'll give you my overall thoughts about Stephon Castle, and then I'll ask you, obviously, what you think. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think that he has very high basketball IQ. I feel like him at his worst, like floor-wise, is he's a rotational player that fits in just about any system just because he plays the right way. I think his biggest highlight is defense. He can finish at the rim fairly well. But defense is what I'm really leaning on. Like, this is the one thing that the Spurs need is a defensive lock wing, and he's one that you definitely don't want to switch on. Like how I said, Sheppard I think is a switching nightmare. I don't think that that's the case with Castle. You don't want him to be switched on you. So great hands, good defender, plays the right way. And he's more than likely, at least in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, he's probably going to be one of those players that, like, statistic-wise, it won't show up how good he actually is at times. I have a bias towards guys like Derrick White, and he gave me those type of vibes. Just not saying, 1-to-1, obviously, but he does give me those vibes as far as a guy who knows how to play the game the right way, has that great defense, and you can fit him in, and maybe eventually could be. I think he's more of a combo guard, but maybe eventually could be a point guard. And if the Spurs didn't say, hey, screw it, we're not going to do Darius Garland, we're going to take our shot at Castle and start filling up around it, I would not be that upset by that at all. I feel like at worst, he will be in the rotation and he will be effective at worst. But as far as statistic wise, I know people will bring up 3-point shooting. I think he has really good form, so you can work with that. It's not like a situation with Jeremy Sohan where Jeremy's mechanics, and they're still pretty off. It takes a little bit more work, but he's even gotten much better. Now he's like at 30%. But Stephon Castle, I think his mechanics are better. Going to the San Antonio Spurs, they'll work on that. I think that'll be fine. And free throw percentage, nearly 76%. I mean, it's obvious that he can shoot the ball. So, and he's a champion, right? He's a winner. So, did everything for his team to win that game versus Purdue, right? So,
yeah,
did a great job. So all right. So what are your thoughts? I know you love Castle. You got me on Castle a long time ago. Oh no. Is he gone again? Oh no. Guys, we lost him again. No. Oh wait, you're muted. You're muted. No. We lost Swish Hill again, guys. We lost him again. I think he'll be back though. I thought I didn't know for Castro. Oh crap! Did I put Castro? I didn't put Castro. There you go. Can you? Oh crap! He's muted again. Swish, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This might sound weird because I don't know what's going on with my computer, but it's screwing up, so I just joined on my phone.
Oh, that's cool. So it actually sounds like even more clear, believe it or not.
Oh, well, that's disturbing. That was a $300 microphone I was talking on. Oh, shit.
All right, so what are your thoughts on... you heard everything I said, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, what are your thoughts on Castle?
Yes, I mean, look, it's funny to me how people have come around on Castle so quickly when the Spurs express interest, because I was getting absolutely shat on Twitter back in like December and November when I kept saying Castle was my favorite prospect in this whole draft.
Yeah.
And I still stand by it. I love him as a prospect. Like I said, I'm not sure quite yet with him being a point guard, just because we haven't seen him do that at a higher level. We've only seen that in high school, so I'd have to see a bit more of that. At least in high school, though, and I'll probably get roasted for saying this, but because he's nowhere near the same type of player, but he's one of those guys who's more like smooth than athletic or explosive, but he has that kind of like herky-jerky motion to his changes of direction that kind of reminds me of how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in that respect, just with those big guards and being quick. I think his shot can come around. I don't think he's ever going to be like this crazy elite pull-up shooter.
Yeah.
But I mean, he shot 76% from the free throw line, so like the mechanics are there, 54% from two and all that. So I think he can get there. Really, the thing with him, I think, is just hesitation to take the shots. A lot of times he'd be open and he just kind of stand there and think about it too much, and then either drive straight at a guy or try to pass and turn it over.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just be confident, just do it. When he rose up with confidence, he'd knock it down.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I still don't know about the point guard thing, just because he's done so well as a wing. As an off guard, he kind of reminds me of Jimmy Butler a bit, just with his defense. I mean, his defense is next tier, and he can handle the ball. So yeah, maybe he could be the point guard. Yeah, I mean, he's got poise, he's got prowess. You know, guys are going to dare him to shoot it at the start. So, you know, he's got to work on the confidence and ironing that out there. But I mean, he's pretty good at finding guys off the bounce. You know, he's good at running the pick and roll there. He's just one of those tweener guys where you don't quite know which position he's going to be in. But I would be thrilled if we took him. I still think, I mean, granted, we'd be looking at him at 4. I think he's a top 4 prospect in this draft easily.
Yeah. He has super high basketball IQ. I actually find it pretty promising with that article basically stating like you mentioned earlier, that he's actively avoiding teams that have starting point guards already. I think that he really believes in his abilities there. Everything that I've seen from him, I know some people have mentioned like, oh, he's kind of a connector. I don't think he's that at all. I feel like he initiates a lot of the offense and he finds the right guy. Like I said, I just think that I think if no one has seen him at all and the Spurs draft him and they don't know anything about him, they'll think, oh, okay, that's great. These stats don't look that great. But he's just one of those guys, very Spursy, like, where it's not about the stats. You know, we bring it up all the time with Sohan, where, you know, it seems like I'm just crazy. I'm being gaslit like every other day, trying to tell me that so not everybody, you know, it's a very small percentage, but trying to tell me that Sohan isn't a great defender, and you have to look at the advanced analytics just to see that, but also the eye test shows you that. And I think that Castle also just plays the right way. Like he will fit right in very quickly, and would be an immediate upgrade at that spot. Actually, now that I think about it, if you grab Castle, is it inevitable that you put him at 1? He's not taking Devin Vassell's spot. I don't know if I would put him at 3.
I think what probably happens is I think Devin slides to small forward, Castle starts as a 2, and then gets minutes as like a backup point guard to start. And then if he's good enough at that, you can look at starting him at the point, sure. Okay. But I think you look to tap into both sides of his skill set, both off ball and on ball. And that's what's most intriguing about him. And, you know, not that saying he's not a point guard is an insult. I mean, Jimmy Butler's not a point guard, but you know, he gets to handle the ball a lot too. But I think you try to tap into both sides. And I think, you know, we're talking about Sohan. I think Castle being on the team immediately makes it better for Sohan. Obviously, there's going to be a spacing issue that people look at, but now if he's on the team, you don't have to have Sohan guarding guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and stuff like that. And,
yeah,
I mean, come on, yeah. So Sohan's a good defender, but that's just, he shouldn't have to be matched up against guards like he has been.
I actually agree with I give up 12. He said Devin at small forward. I would hate that too.
I don't like Devin at small forward either. I just don't see any other way they do it.
Yeah.
It just feels weird to immediately throw Castle at the 1.
That's the only thing I can think of, man.
Yeah, especially with how, and now granted they could throw Castle at the 3 and try that out. But yeah, I just, not granted, I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, hell, Pop threw Sohan at point guard last year, so yeah. Lord knows they could throw him at the 1 and just try it. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not a fan of Devin at the small forward either. We've tried that. I think he's better as a shooting guard, but I just don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. I personally would, I mean, you know, Pop wouldn't listen to me, but I would just go ahead and plug him into that point guard. I feel like if you get Castle, then that's me making the assumption that you didn't go after Garland and you didn't get Dilly, which I'm completely comfortable with. At that point, I think that you just need to just start him at point and see if he can do it. I mean, he believes in his abilities. I mean, he's going to struggle, obviously, being a rookie, but I think also, dude, that's kind of the benefit of having Wemby, right? Like, because I feel like he makes, even if you're not the best passer in the world right now, and you have to, grow from that, he will bring out the best in you. He will make you look good no matter what. So I think that the growing pains won't be as bad because you're next to Wemby. At least that's just how I view it. But like you said, the spacing issue could be something as well. But that's assuming Sohan doesn't take a huge leap. That he already has taken a big leap, but he can only go up from here. So I don't know. I'm with it, though. I'm with it. So I think
what a lot of people don't want to hear is, like you said, even if he comes in and he looks like a good point guard, he's still going to struggle because young guards do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone watched Scoot Henderson a lot early in the season. He struggled hard, and he's absolutely just a very gifted player who's going to be very good. Mm-hmm. He started picking it up towards the end of the year, but he was not good to start the season. We saw low field goal percentage, bad turnovers, lapses defensively and offensively, and we're going to see that, and that's okay. It happens. They're young players, and especially young guards. That is the hardest position to pick up in the NBA.
Also, and this is really random, but I just thought about this with the idea that he comes in and plays point. Not to say we don't have a spot for Blake Wesley, because I really do like Blake Wesley, but man, I've kind of given up on the idea that he'll be a point. I just don't think he'll be a point.
I don't think he's a point. And I don't think Blake views himself as a point either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think right now it's just been the lack of having that point guard that's kind of forced him to be there. Same way we threw Jeremy in there, and Jeremy said himself he didn't view himself as a point guard. He was just making do. If Wesley stays with the team, I think he's definitely more of a two guard.
Yeah. Somebody said, but Wemby is the difference. Scoot didn't have Wemby. Castle will. I think Castle.
Yeah, but Castle's also not as skilled as Scoot is. I mean, I definitely agree. It'll make it easier having a big man of that caliber, but you're still going to see some struggles. It happens with every young guard in the league.
One thing we need to actually emphasize, because this does need to be emphasized. He's a winner, man. He's a winner. He played phenomenal defense, through and through. He plays winning basketball. This Illinois, did I miss this game? They won by, I think I missed this game. They won by more than 20 points. He had 2 points, and
they went on like a 30-0 run at one point in that game.
Because he only played 23 minutes, so that's a weird one. That one's an outlier right there. That's a weird one. But he finished off strong. 21 points in the next game. 33% from three, and then the game after that to win it all, 15 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. But like I said, I don't think it's going to show up in the stats with this guy. Not a lot. He's just not that type of player. I think he'll have these games where he'll go off, but he seems like a pass. I don't know. You can tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. Is he kind of a pass first? I've always seen him kind of a, hey, I'm getting my teammates involved type of player, but.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's pass first. In high school, he was very much a scoring guard. He's one of those kind of tweener combo guys, but I mean, he is a good passer.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who's ever played with him says he's a phenomenal passer. So I don't think there's any lack of ability there.
Yeah, he can make every single pass too. I've seen some really impressive backdoor passes. I've seen some really impressive skip passes. So he can make just about any pass. And then obviously a bunch of alley-oops to who was it? Number 2?
Yeah, Tristan Newton.
Yeah, Tristan Newton. Yeah. Really good stuff.
Who worked out for the Spurs, by the way. That was the guy that posted on his Instagram page and everyone was trying to say it was Darius Garland.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, guys, that's not Darius Garland. Okay, cool. So let's see what the poll says here. We got nearly 100 people. Yeah, well, I said nearly. It's like 81. In the poll, I said, would you take Castle at 4? And we have 77% of people said yes, 22% said no. So everybody's pretty high on Castle right now.
That might be the biggest differential we had all through there with the yes and no's.
Yeah, the other ones were like 68% or I wonder the people that said no, I wonder what their mind state is on that. I did some polls on Twitter. I don't know if I showed you this, but I did some polls on Twitter. And I did Ron Holland or Stephon Castle, but I should have known better. But it was 574 votes. 74% there said Castle, so he's up there. I think it's the mixture of yes, he is a great player, but also he's getting a lot of love with the media right now.
Yeah, I wonder where people's heads would be on him if we hadn't been interested. Like I said, it was interesting. A lot of people were really not liking when I was kind of giving him love back in the winter there when I was watching him play. But yeah, he's kind of been my favorite the whole year there. Obviously, probably not the best prospect in the draft, but I think he's a really good fit and just a really good player.
Yeah, Bleacher Report has the Hornets taking him at 6, which I guess I can see because they don't have a definitive point guard. I guess I can see that. I guess I don't know. But yeah, all right. Good stuff. Well, man, that's basically all I had. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I did want to ask you this before we ended. Eminem. Earlier somebody was like, I don't know. This person in chat said that Eminem is like corny now, and he's not one of the best. He was in the early 2000s or whatever. It's like, I agree that he's corny. What the heck? Hold on.
He's always been corny.
Yeah, he's always been a corny person. But anyways, what I was gonna say was, on a technical level, would you agree with this? That technically, even though I don't like his songs as much as I did in the early 2000s, technically he is a better rapper than he was before. Like, I feel like he's only gotten better, but it's so technical to the point where it makes people like weird about it. You know, it's like it's
more technical than feel now. I would agree with that.
Yeah, somebody said M is low key out of touch. How so? I mean, how so? I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a liberal. He should be further left. I would say that. But like, how's he out of touch? I don't get it. I don't think he's out of touch. I think well, actually, no. I get it. I get it to an extent, because Eminem has done a lot of that. Like Gen Z, you're after me, and that's kind of strange because I kind of realized something. I don't think Gen Z like hates Eminem as much as Eminem thinks Gen Z hates Eminem. I don't think that that's the case at all, because Gen Z grew up off of Eminem too. Like, people think people think millennials now, they think like 40 years old, which true, but like, I'm one of the younger. Or are we the youngest millennials?
I think
we're close.
Millennials go to like 1997. So I mean, we are younger.
Right there. Yeah, we're right there. But Gen Z grew up listening to Eminem too. So I don't know. I don't think they hate him. Maybe he's out of touch in that regard. I think that is a little weird that he constantly talks about that. I also don't think he's really getting canceled. That's something where it's like, I don't think you're actually getting canceled. People hated you way more in 2000s than they do now. I mean, he even rapped about it. They tried to shut me down on MTV.
Well, that's the funny thing. I know a lot of people were like, God, these people, they don't know. I'm like, dude, when we were kids listening to this, it was still shocking. Like, it's not like people then weren't trying to. He talked all the time about how they were trying to censor him and take him off MTV and all that stuff. It's always been that way.
I tried to tell my brother this because my brother is the oldest of millennials, and he was like, "Man, nowadays people are just so soft." And I'm like, "Well, we can say that, but like, I think the world is a better place as far as, you know, people have to be a little bit more clever with their jokes. Have to be a little bit more. Early 2000 comedies suck. Most of them did. So you you have to be better with your jokes. You have to be better with your craft. You can't say certain things, which is, I think, is totally fine. You know, more inclusivity or whatever. But I completely disagree with my brother on that, because early 2000s, I mean, talking about people being sensitive, dude, how many people like put out there that you shouldn't be watching Pokemon, you shouldn't be watching Harry Potter. I mean, things were like, people were really upset about everything. Grand Theft Auto.
You shouldn't be watching 10-year-old basketball games that you are not the parent or related to the child.
Dude, go. Wait, what?
I was trying to make a callback to you saying that wild shit earlier.
But and also crap, what was I gonna say? Like South Park. Go back and watch like South Park. Go back and watch Simpsons, and it's so tame to what it is today. And people were complaining about it back then. I don't see anybody complaining about South Park now because it's clever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Shoot, there's even this article. I put it on a hoodie, and it's so funny. Where this is insane. There's an article on Dragon Ball Z. You know, growing up off of Dragon Ball Z, like no one in their mind that we have freaking Death Note. Well, I mean that's 2000s, but we have like a Demon Slayer, and it has all the blood in the world, and there's no controversy. Back in the day, yeah, Dragon Ball Z had an article in which it says Dragon Ball Z is bringing impalement. Is that how you say it? Impalement?
Yeah.
Strangulation to the after school crowd, and it goes through here and it compares Dragon Ball Z to Pulp Fiction. Like, people were so snowflakes back then. It doesn't even compare. I don't know.
That's why you pulled up that article.
Yeah, dude. Tavarius, are you the one that's been getting like roasted on Twitter? I've been seeing you get roasted, my boy. Is it Jay? I think Jay's been like really getting on Tavarius.
Jay roasts everybody.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Overall, I don't think things are like more sensitive today. I mean, you can't do certain things. But you know, sometimes we can take it too far. But dude, parents back in the day were way worse than
it's just like any other thing. Back in the 90s when all this was happening and all that, if you were to go back another 20 years, there'd be other things you were allowed to, that was common to do back then and say that you just didn't say now. The world's ever changing.
NWA, I mean, oh my God. like man, they wanted to lock them up, lock those thugs up. Like, they wanted to lock them up. Now we've had plenty of NWAs, right? Dragon Ball was violent. That's insulting. I mean, it was violent, but to say it's like, they literally put in here Pokemon meets Pulp Fiction. What are we talking about? This is how people view Dragon Ball back in the day. Terrible. Anyways, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I don't think I've ever heard Pokemon and Pulp Fiction mentioned in the same sentence before.
Makes no sense. And funny enough, if you read this entire newspaper article, it makes you want to watch Dragon Ball Z. Like, if a young kid read this, a sort of Pokemon meets Pulp Fiction. The show is much darker than the average kiddie cartoon.
Awesome.
Yeah, this sounds dope. Like, I think they talk about how Goku impales Frieza. Where is it? Brutality is a staple. In one recent episode, beads of sweat form on the brow of a character named Vegeta as he is nearly strangled to death by an evil foe named Frieza. It's like, oh my God, let me watch this. Yeah, insane, dude. People were snowflakes. They were always snowflakes. So yeah, I think Eminem's out of touch when it comes to that. But all right, I won't keep you, man.
Well, shit. It was fun coming on here.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I hope the draft just gets here soon, just so we can know what the hell we're gonna do and not have to speculate anymore.
Yeah. Do you I don't know if it's like super late your time. Do you want to hop on Helldivers or not really?
Hey man, it's like 1 a.m. here already.
So you want to like hop on Helldivers or?
Gotta pass tonight. Shit.
So like you mean like in an
so
hour?
Like, it's a yes, right? Like, you know that no means no, clan.
69. He's a 69 god.
Hey, run the hell dive.
God, dude. See, Eminem back in the day would have mentioned the whole Drake Kendrick situation on that Houdini. That would have been great. God, he would have mentioned that.
Hey, all I'm saying is I'm thankful for the whole Drake situation because hip hop is back, baby.
Yeah, I think it hired or raised the bar. You know, it raised the bar. And Kendrick, he needs to be on top. Like, he's the best rapper in the game. He has to be on top. Like, he can't sit back on his laurels, which it seemed like y'all tripping. What we tripping about? I think he just means we're joking. Run for your life. I don't know, man. These comedy movies.
That is never gonna get old.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said, okay, last thing. Somebody said, I just want your thoughts on this. Someone said, I don't know, man. These comedy movies nowadays are lame because they don't want to get canceled. I disagree. I don't know how many comedy. First off, comedy hasn't been that great. I mean, it's always been hit or miss. But I mean, Deadpool was a really popular one not that long ago, and I don't think that they were really concerned about getting canceled. Or Ted is another one. I mean, the first Ted was pretty good. I don't think they're worried. You want to talk about stuff more recent? What's that movie? I just saw it, dude. It was almost like a female.
That narrows it down.
I know. It was like a female super bad. Oh, crap. It was pretty good. Oh, crap. Bottoms.
Females.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it says a female version of Superbad in Fight Club. Yeah, go watch that. There's no holding back in that movie. So Bottoms is pretty great.
I don't know. I just think writing in comedies hasn't been as good lately. There are good shows out there that you can write stuff without doing like, you know, crazy jokes that are too out there. It's just, I don't know. To me, a lot of stuff nowadays, they just don't want to get original with stuff anymore.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to. You have to, because comedy is definitely like, I know people say, oh, it's all subjective, but it's an art. You know, it's some objectivity to it to make it good. And yeah, I mean, you just can't get away with like the bare minimum of jokes. That's what I was saying. Early 2000s comedies were not that good. There were a lot of them. There were a lot of successful ones. Go back and watch it. It's actually not that clever at all. I mean, the jokes are just lame. It's just lame. It's not as good as you actually think it is. Freaking I watched Shallow Hal the other day. It had like literally it had one good joke in it. It's like, yeah, you couldn't make that movie today. Why would you want to make that movie today?
Yeah, why does that movie constantly show up on TikTok?
Does it?
Yes, all the time, and I can't figure out what the hell I watched, and that's what comes up.
Yeah, and they'll use those movies to say, oh, you can't make this now. Why would you want to? It wasn't good. It had one good joke in it at the end. It's not a good movie. I mean, and then they'll bring up like classic movies and say, you couldn't make that. You couldn't make it. It's like, yeah, you could. What are you talking about? Like freaking, I mentioned Superbad. I mean, you couldn't make that today. Yeah, you could. You can make Superbad today. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's no Soul Plane, but you know.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I can hear you laughing.
I know, and I can hear you being silent and fuming on the other end.
God, dude. That movie, man. That movie sucks so bad. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. Music is no good no more. Okay, are we just trolling? You're just trolling. Yeah, music... I don't know. I don't want to say music's worse now. I don't believe in any of that, okay? I think we just have an abundance of different things, and it makes it dilutes a lot of the good stuff out there because we have so many things to choose from. I think that's what it is. TV shows are better. Movies are better. I wish we had more mid-budget movies so we can get more of those classics. We don't have any mid-budget movies anymore, but movies are better. Art is better overall. It has nothing to do with this freaking oh, this just isn't good anymore. No, it's you just got to find it. There's so many people that can put their art out there now. So, oh, Ash is in the comments. She said you knew he'd bring it up. Yeah.
He didn't. He walked right into it.
Yeah. Dude, we're gonna I don't know if I can put this out there. I'm gonna be visiting Swish Hill pretty soon. Me and my girlfriend. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But we're not watching Soul Plane. If we're watching Soul Plane, I'm getting a flight back early. I'm not doing.
You getting a flight back on the Soul Plane?
Man, it was nice having you on. So I will.
You're about to sell that plane ticket, aren't you?
I'm gonna give it away. I'm like, man, I'm here. Gonna be some random couple there. You're like, who's this? It's gonna be like the Indian version of me and Shinji.
Fine, we won't watch Soul Plane.
Dude, that would suck so bad. You would have to have drinks for me to watch that and enjoy it. I would probably just complain the whole time. I would just complain the whole time. You want to hear me complain?
What, is that not what you're doing now?
I hate that movie so much, man.
See? We're not even watching it.
Yeah, I know. But there's great comedies out there. It's just, you got to kind of find them. People that always bring up, I wish it was like the early No, you don't. No, those movies were not good. You just have nostalgia towards them. Some of them are still good, like freaking Waterboy or whatever. That's great. That's still great. That's still funny. But a lot of those movies actually do literally suck. You just think they're like, dude, where's my car? That movie was popular back then. I think it was popular back then.
Yeah, it was popular.
That movie was stupid. Undercover Brother was great. That's still a great film. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to get off. It is late.
All right, man. I'll catch you later.
I haven't even had dinner. All right, man. Oh, well, that was nice. Demon Slayer and House of Dragons with a Blue Moon. Let's go. We watched Waterboy a few weeks ago. Oh, Waterboy's so good. It's so funny. I love Waterboy. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, early 2000s comedies. I don't want movie suggest. This is the best of. All right, we can look at the best of. Whatever. See if any of these I disagree with. Okay, a lot of these I haven't seen. All right, early 2000s. Let's see. Controversial. White Chicks actually isn't that good. Terry Crews just made that movie. Superbad is phenomenal. Hangover, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I would probably have to rewatch it. Knocked Up was mid. Role Models suck. Dodgeball was good. I don't remember Juno that well. Pineapple Express is great. Scary Movie was great. Napoleon Dynamite was great. Wedding Crashers kind of mid. The Wood is the best comedy movie of all time. I need to rewatch that. It's been so long. I don't remember it. Click is very mid. You just remember it being good. Bruce Almighty, I think is good. It's been a minute. The Disaster Artist? That's not early 2000s. What are we talking about? It just says For You. Okay. But that's not early 2000s. It just came out not that long ago. Back when Rob Schneider was like in everything. Like Mike sucks. That's just your nostalgia. Nacho Libre is okay, I guess. All right. Let's see. I want to do 2010s. Oh, not early 2010s. Hold on. 2010s comedies. Hey, Scott Pilgrim made it. 2010. That counts. I said Ted. When did Ted actually come out? Ted came out in 2012? Oh my God. I mentioned Ted and it came out a decade ago? 21 Jump Street, decade ago? 2012 was a... Wow, it was a banger. When Bridesmaids come out? 2011. Lady Bird, I guess you can consider that. I would consider it more of a coming of age story than a... I mean, you see, when did Deadpool? 2016, okay. This Is the End is a phenomenal... Oh, it's so good. This Is the End is so funny. I don't know. I just feel like the idea that you can't, like, be edgy is crazy to me. You can still be edgy. Sorry to Bother You is a good movie. Let's do 2020s. I haven't seen that many comedies lately. Bad Boys for Life. That was fun. That was a fun movie. Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once counts, I guess. I mean, that's a masterpiece of a film right there. Bottoms is great. I just told you about Bottoms. Go watch Bottoms. Barbie. I didn't like Barbie that much. Bruce Almighty slaps. Bruce Almighty's okay. I have to go back and watch it probably. Shrek. Yeah, Shrek's a banger. Shrek is definitely a banger. Yeah, I didn't really like Barbie that much. I went to see it. I thought I would like it more, and I didn't. I think I had too high expectations, maybe. Barbie is one of those movies. Oh, Unfrosted. That looks terrible, dude. That just looks like propaganda for Pop-Tarts. I think my problem with Barbie, it's a really weird thing going on, right? Like, because I want it to exist. It's not one of those movies that I went to see it and I was pissed off that I saw it, right? Like, for it being a, like, high budget, made so much money film, and a lot of heart went into it. I love the message behind it. The messaging behind it is great. There's not many times that you get like a literal feminist film, you know, being shown by this many people on this stage. And I think they did it fairly well. It's just, for me, I didn't really enjoy the comedy that much. I did not find it that funny. I know a lot of people found it funny. I did not find it that funny at all. But I did appreciate the songs were okay. I appreciated the wardrobe and everything. I just didn't find it that funny. I was expecting to come in and like really laugh, but I don't know. It actually, funny enough, it felt like an early 2000s movie. When people, you know, we just mentioned early 2000s, it felt like an early 2000s movie as far as his comedy is concerned. But I'm happy that it exists. I think it's a good film to exist. I think it does good to the world, but I wasn't feeling it that much comedy wise. Anchorman. Oh, Anchorman's great. Yeah, Anchorman's great. I agree with you on that. Glad you did a live, Clan. Thank you. I didn't see that before. All right, I'm getting off, guys. I actually need to eat something, and I need to... Yeah, I just need to eat something. I might watch some anime. You guys, anybody got any suggestions on psychological thriller animes? I was thinking about what's it called? Paranoid Agent or whatever. I was thinking about watching that tonight. What I'll probably do is watch Summer Game Fest, because I need to catch up on that. I didn't look at any of the announcements, so that I was thinking about watching this. Same person who made Perfect Blue, I think. But I really need some psychological thrillers. Like, I want something dark, psychological. Akira. Well, I mean, I've seen Akira. I have an Akira. You guys saw Ashley in the chat. Switch Hills girl. She actually made me a decal for my car. It's a Akira decal. That was cool. But yeah, ever since I've watched Death Note, Death Parade, Parasite, and Psycho Pass, it's just nothing has really lived up to that. I think maybe my standards are just too high. I just want a good one. You say I made it? I'm actually literally about to get off. I'm just asking people if anybody has any anime suggestions. Unfortunately, I have the latency on normal and not ultra fast, ultra quick. Fruit bat? That's not psychological, is it? Fruit basket? Blades of Glory is classic. Blades of Glory. Oh. You talking about the film with Will Ferrell? I remember liking this film. I like Semi-Pro too. Some people like really get onto Will Ferrell, like, cause it was a stretch where Will Ferrell was the guy, right? Like, there's like certain eras in comedies where you have the guy, right? Like, we have Adam Sandler just running the 90s, him and Jim Carrey together, just running the 90s together. You got Will Ferrell, the late 2000s, right? Like mid to late 2000s was nothing but Will Ferrell. I guess you can say, I feel like Martin Lawrence was running things for a minute too. Berserk, I don't know about psychological thriller, but it's dark. And it hits you like a brick. All right, so I haven't read it. Hold on, I'll show you. I don't know why you would think I'm lying, but I have the Berserk first volume. I have not read, well, I read a little, you can see I read just a little bit. So I guess my question to you is, should I just read it? Should I just read it, or should I like watch it? What's better? Because I mean, I have the first one. I have the first volume. I don't even know how many chapters is in this bad boy. Let's see. Maybe it says at the beginning. Deluxe edition. 3 volumes. That doesn't really give me much. I don't know. Give me that answer and then I'm gonna get out of here. Should I read it or should I just watch it? Or does it matter? I mean, if I already got this dang thing, I should just read it, right? The 1997 anime is so good, I'd watch that. It doesn't tell the whole story, though. Watch first, then read. That's what I've been doing. Okay. Read, the art was great. I mean, I just pulled up the first, I mean, I can't show it on stream because, good God. I mean, the first page is some nudity, but like, yeah, right off the bat, it's like, oh my God, this artwork is incredible. How can I go about this? Because I kind of do want to read it. I need to read. I have so much, guys, I have so much manga, and I have not read a lot of it. Like, I've read Goodnight Pun Pun all the way through. I have not read a lot of the manga that I own. It's pretty sad. I have a huge shelf of manga that I need to get to. So what I'll probably do is I'll read it and then I'll eventually watch it. That's what I'll do. I really knew they'd do that with Attack on Titan because I watched Attack on Titan up to the last season and I was like, I can't wait because it was like a whole year before it comes back and I just read it to the end. Have you watched Solo Leveling Clan? No, I haven't watched that. Is that good? I was thinking about getting that I think I was thinking about getting the manga of that, and then the anime came out, and I was like, well, I might as well just watch it. Oh my goodness. The rating is super high. Is it really that good? It got a lot of love on Crunchyroll. It's that good? It can't be that good. Sell me on it, please. Stop and watch it. It's that good. Okay. It's the best show. Okay. I'll watch it. Tonight, I guess I'll watch... I don't know. Do I want to start with Solo Leveling or do I want to watch... Where is Paranoia Agent? What is that even on? Is that on Crunchyroll? It's on Crunchyroll. Because this is a very, like, short series. Alright, let me put Solo Leveling on my phone. It's good starting point on Cultivator Anime. What does that mean? Cultivator Anime? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? You have my word, it's good, my brother. And Log got hook on it, and he's not into anime. The manga is so much better. I'm out, clan. Bless you, bro. All right, good night. Yeah, what is cultivator? What does that mean? Like when you say cultivator anime, I don't know what that means. Like spells or? I don't get it. I see here is the list. Top 10 cultivation. And yeah, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. What is cultivation anime called? Cultivation is a common theme in both. I can't read that. Examining stories typically focus on cultivation for the purpose of achieving immortality. There's a whole Reddit here asking what the heck is cultivation. It's funny because when you read enough cultivation series, you actually can just guess what's going on or going to happen pretty accurately. The main character go on rapid growth, almost borderline OP. Oh! Is that what that means? I have no idea. We'll see if I like it. I'm actually going to start with Paranoia Agent, but I'm putting Solo Leveling down. I actually was going to, because I need some real self-care this weekend. I am doing nothing. Like tomorrow, I'm going to the gym. And then after that, I'm being lazy. Well, I actually need to clean up. I can't be fully lazy. But I do want to watch a lot of anime tomorrow. I'm going to cook me some food, and I want to watch a lot of anime. So that's great that you guys are telling me this. Solo Leveling. So I put down Solo Leveling, Paranoia Agent, and I might watch a movie tomorrow. I don't know. I want to be super lazy after the gym and cleaning. I want to be super lazy. And I guess we have enough stuff to post, right? As far as over this weekend, I don't think there'll be any other news that come up, so I'll get to the thumbnails and all that tomorrow. And Kaiju, I'm not getting on that yet. I know what that is. I ain't getting on that. Let's Hoop Clan. All right, y'all. I'm getting off for real this time. Thanks everybody for coming through. Like I always say, man, if you guys are interested at all, there's other ways to support. You can become a Patreon member, which honestly, I probably need to start taking down my Patreon because I had it up for so long, but most people just try to be YouTube members now. So, but if you guys want to be a YouTube member, that's great. Just be a YouTube member, supporting that way, or head on over to clanthemerchfan.com and get yourself some merch. That's another way to help the channel out. Clean, catch up on anime, get your reps in at the gym. That's a good day of being a fit nerd. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I'll get with you guys later. Hey, Average Sama. All right. Good night. Night, night. All right. Love you guys. Please make a reaction video to solo leveling. First step needs to be, I need to make a Twitch channel. Cause can you get away with a lot of that in Twitch? I don't know if you can. I need a Twitch. I desperately need a Twitch. I actually put that down in my summer goals, is to make a Twitch account. Well, I have a Twitch account, but to start using it. Anyways. All right, bye guys. Good night.